What's up, guys? It's Jihad from the Nukeclear podcast. Just want to give a shout out to one of the brands I am personally an ambassador of, and that would be Pyre. You guys can check them out at mypyre.com. They have things from energy to performance and health supplements. And right now they have two lines, Mana and God Mode. I use them for a pick-me-up throughout the day. They have mental and clarity boosting properties. They're gluten-free, they're vegan. I use them personally after a workout or during a long gaming session. Definitely check them out. And right now you can get a 20% off discount. That's right, 20% off discount if you use my discount code REIGN215. That's REIGN 215. Definitely check them out. They have health and energy supplements and gaming merch. Head over there now.
All right. Bro, go.
I'm gonna fucking punch you. Shut the fuck. All right. What's up, guys? It's Jihad and my gracious co-host
Mikael
and
Matt.
Back at it with another episode of the Nukeclear podcast. We got a lot to touch on today, but I'm gonna ask you guys, how was your week? What you guys been up to?
Being self-destructive, being toxic, you know.
Oh, that's
not helping out anything that's good for me.
Just
I'm gonna
being a
keep it
nuisance
short.
to society.
Yeah, of course. I did call you at 2:00 in the morning.
You did.
Again.
Yes.
And it's a reoccurring occurrence. I know you're gonna be home from work at like 11, 12ish. So I'm like, this nigga don't go to sleep. When did he take his melatonin?
That's a good question.
Exactly.
I didn't take any melatonin last night.
Exactly. I knew the type of energy you were giving off. I'm like, I can fuck up.
I was on demon time, like
Or in math terms, demon hour.
He said it right earlier though. He did say demon time.
You're doing better. We're making you one of us at some point. You're gonna be like one of those dark Italians, like the Sicilians and shit, at some point. But all jokes aside, been a relatively tame week. I have my first gig, hopefully by the end of this month. We have another project that I can't wait to talk to you guys about in the future. We're gonna have a meeting 2 weeks from now, and It's gonna go great. But besides that, play more video game. Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous came out. Really fucking great game. It's a CRPG, my favorite type.
I've been seeing a lot of trailers for that. Is that like an expansion or is it
full game?
Oh, so it's like a whole another sequel. Okay,
really
what's
good.
up?
I'm not gonna delve too much into it because it's a long game and I can do hours on it. Besides that, Tales of Rise came out. There's a bunch of RPGs coming out. I love it.
Yeah.
Were you trying to get a PS5 yesterday? What was with that?
Yeah, so Sony's been doing this thing where they like eventually message you in regards to giving you the opportunity to purchase one, but it's only yeah, exactly. But it's only one. It's like a fucking sneaker release, but it's only one per household, and you can buy as many fucking controllers and headsets and video games, but you only can buy one console, and it's on queue. You have to go through that specific link.
It's not a scam.
No, it's not a scam. It looks like a scam, right? But it's like legit. If it takes you to direct.playstation.com, it's legit. It's straight from the PlayStation Plus Sony website and everything like that. You just have to sign into your PSN account. Then it takes you there, and you're in a queue for X amount of time. They actually email you and say, hey, after this date at specific, it's usually Pacific time, dude, not specific, whatever. Specific, also Pacific time. So we're like 3 hours apart. So I had to wait the next day and wait an extra 3 fucking hours.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it.
So I don't know if it's guaranteed, but it did put a pending hold on my credit card and everything like that. But it didn't say like not available or it didn't take it out of my cart. So I'm assuming that the purchase will go through and they'll ship it to me.
Good.
So I was a little bit, on the fence about it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy a PS5 just yet. Again, I have a PC and a PS4. But yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, I'm waiting for the PS5 as well. I feel like by the time I get one, there's gonna be a PS5 Pro, and
that's
I feel
what
like
I was waiting for. Yeah.
Be pointless.
Or a slim or some type of limited edition.
Or black.
A black one, yes.
Like
we want a black one.
I don't see the point of white consoles. You're gonna make it dirty. It's gonna collect dust.
True.
You're gonna have kids who eat Cheetos and put it on the shit. Like a lot of PS5s are gonna be looking musty.
I actually saw a picture of a musty ass like PS5 controller. Like somebody ate baby back ribs for like a week straight, and we're playing their
like,
PS5. And like you eat ribs, there's like residue still on your hands.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
there's just not enough hand washing you can do to get the ribs out of your fingers.
You need, like,
Under
a greaser.
Yeah.
like, literally, like you fucking yes, bruh. Like it's trifling. It looked, oh my god, it looked like dirty draws. Like it looked disgusting.
The homies aren't playing games if they don't wash their hands.
No,
Touching my controller
hell
for
no,
30 minutes.
absolutely not. I was actually gonna like, I love the aesthetic of a white, like PC or game system or whatever, but like. I thought about the longevity of it. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna look good for very long. No.
That's why I was
not.
surprised you're wearing fucking white pants today. Like, it's surprising.
Yeah.
They're new.
They're not gonna be new for long.
No, I know.
But besides that, my week been relatively tame. Once again, we got new projects coming in. Probably by the end of October. Once again, going to Thailand at the end of October after my brother's wedding with my sister-in-law. And yeah, that's about it.
Nice. That's what's up. How was your week, Matt?
No, pretty good. Been moving. Switched apartments, so still over in West Philly. But doing all that stuff, like cleaning, setting shit up, while balancing like work life here at the studio. So it's been a pretty hectic week, but can't complain. I'm loving the space that we're in. I'm living with 2 other people now, which feels really good after a long quarantine, you know? Having some type of social interaction.
Word.
And the cat's loving it. So
The cats love it. Nice.
that's all that really matters.
So, if people want to come visit you at your house and stalk you, where can they find you at?
Oh, well,
Tell us your social.
I had to throw up my old address, and I was like, "There's probably some
No.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh my
yeah.
God. Yeah. What the fuck?
But yeah, so great.
So it was a pretty smooth transition to the new space and everything.
Yeah, it was nice. Fortunately, we got the keys like a day before.
Oh,
So
nice.
I got to like move my stuff over via like cars, and like we did like 3 trips and like 3
That's not
cars
bad.
versus having to like pack a whole ass moving truck.
Yeah.
You
and
have
shit.
power the first day you move in.
Yes, we did. We
That's
had power,
rare.
We had AC.
That's rare.
Because I
Very
switched
good.
from Comcast to Verizon, we didn't have Wi-Fi for the first couple of days,
Mm-hmm.
but well worth it. Their new gigabit connection is
Hell fucking yes. You got that white router, right?
Oh,
the big
yeah.
circular one.
fucking like
Not that.
1,000 up and down for like 90 bucks.
What?
Yeah. and,
What? 90 bucks? That's wow.
Dude, it's insane.
Holy fuck.
Versus like I was on fucking Comcast paying 120
Yeah.
bucks for like 50 up and down.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Absolute garbage. I can't wait to switch over.
Yeah. Life changing.
As a former employee of that company that I'm not going to say, I agree.
Wonderful.
So do you feel like you're in a new creative headspace also? Like the moving changed that at all?
Honestly, yeah.
Did it, like,
I
amp
felt
you up?
like toward the end of this past like year at my apartment, I was getting a little bit like stagnant with stuff, and it's cool. Like I was telling Mikael before, like living with other creatives is really inspiring.
Right.
Because like I got home from the studio at like 2:00 last night, and I was like, oh, I'm ready to like eat, go to sleep. And then Dom was sitting in the living room like working on a design, and I was like,
shit.
oh shit, well like you're doing some stuff, like I kind of want to work on some stuff.
Right.
And then ended up like hanging out with him for like an hour, like doing some shit. So like it's been like really motivating for me, just like everyone kind of doing their own thing. It like inspires / motivates the other people to like be on their shit as well.
Right.
It's like I feel like a lot more accountable,
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot more accountability where it's like, oh, I can't sleep in today because all the homies are up and like we all
And they're
agree
working
we're
on
gonna, like
something.
go to the studio at like noon, and like if I sleep past 11, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So it's been really fucking nice thus far.
That's what's up.
Been enjoying it, and then hopefully within the next week we'll be a bit more like settled and shit. But
Nice.
And then
fucking great.
2 weeks, Kirstyn K drops her EP, right? Or her new single?
Yeah, she should be putting out another single within the next week or so, maybe like 2
Nice,
weeks
nice,
out,
nice.
depending. But yeah, we're not gonna say the title yet because we're still deciding on which one's gonna get dropped. But yeah, Kirsten's single should be coming out pretty soon.
All right. And if they want to make content here like we're doing, where can they find you guys at?
littlebrotheraudio.com. You can check out our portfolio, the whole space, and then also we do have a contact on there. You can just shoot us an email if you want to come tour the space, check out what we do, see it all in person, or like book a trial session.
Word. You guys should make like a video tour, like an intro, like video tour.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's a great idea.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Got you, bro.
Hell yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, my week's been pretty good. It was actually not as hectic as it always usually is working in the service business, and especially where I work at. Like, we didn't have too many crazies this time around. Thank the fucking Lord.
Because the funds are running low because of pandemic. Money was running low, bro.
But it's like downtown is
Motel 6s.
Right.
right, exactly. For like, people don't want to pay incidentals. It's crazy. But yeah, it's been pretty tame week, honestly. Downtown is still looking pretty damn bad though. It's still like downtown K&A, so there's still a really big homeless issue down there. But there was this really cool event that happened, which was kind of like the highlight of the week, which was this thing called Black Is Experience, and it's this event where a large amount of, like, I guess the entirety of the event is just like Black entrepreneurs all gather for this like ballroom dinner type of event where everyone's like dressed up like from head to toe and like fucking just all black, and the shit looks amazing. Like, I loved it because it really did like put me in a good headspace, and was like, damn, maybe the world isn't so full of shit if like we can all get together and do shit like this, especially like the black community and these trying times of like with the pandemic and all this crazy shit happening. There wasn't even like a bad looking person there. Like, everyone looked fucking great. Like, fitted suits. Women were wearing these really nice, like, just crazy ass abstract dresses and shit like that with like frills and like showing some leg every now and then. It was, oh man,
Were
it
they
was
Africans mostly?
I'm probably a majority of them probably were, but like
a lot of them know how to. This is the best stereotype. They can dress their asses off.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I've seen some African people just with the suits and everything, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, being like, have you ever heard of like the dandelion movement and shit like that? Yeah, love it. I have the book on that too. It's a great read, by the way. Check that out. Probably plug that somewhere in there. But yeah, it was just a really awesome sight to behold. Just like the whole hotel being full of like just black entrepreneurs and everyone just congregating for this event of like to represent like peace and everything like that and unity in the black community without there being like violence involved or some shit like that.
Toxic energy.
Or toxic energy. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. The whole night went by perfectly fine. No one fought one another. It wasn't some drama. None of that da. And it was funny enough because like we expected somebody to bring like a white person just to be that one person. Because like that's been me before. Like when I went to my family reunion and I was dating my ex at the time who happened to be Asian. And then like no one looked at me weird because my family doesn't care. They're not racist or whatever. But like it was just kind of funny. And then, oddly enough, my cousin also dated an Asian woman at the time. So it was like, hey. So it was like, hey. But it was one woman that was that had a white guy. And he just looked very plain. Like, it pissed me off because, like, I'm like, come on, bro. You showing this very eccentric event and, like, you just wear this really poor fitted suit. Hair wasn't even, like, come on, bro. Like, very average ass haircut. I was like, come on, bro. You could have did better. You could have cleaned up some.
You all look better. Yeah.
You could have got a boozy fade or something. Like,
I would have walked in, seeing everybody well dressed, been like, nope.
You could have had a black and mild in the, you know what I'm saying? Like, bottle of Henny and some shades. Like, you could have did something, bro, with Gucci slides or something. Come on, bro. She could have did better than that. Like, I don't know.
Do you get an opportunity to like somewhat network, or since you were on the clock, you just had to watch from afar?
I was on the clock, so I was watching from afar. But some of my coworkers were kind of like a fly on the wall, because as per usual, when events like this happen with like formal wear and shit like that, there was a woman with a wardrobe malfunction. You know, it's always the one lady who tries to squeeze in this tight ass dress, and the whole back just splits open.
Oh yeah,
every fucking time. They
be walking boat legged when they're not even boat legged, just to keep the dress from falling apart.
Yeah, so bro. The whole dress, the whole back just split open. Ass cheek, it was just like just straight ass hanging out.
Was she bad?
Everyone was kind of bad, but like By the way, there's some turkeys, like some yerkies out there, like just
Authentic.
ass sitting on and it was all natural booties. Like I'm like, goddamn. But anyway, that's not the point. But anyway,
straight to objectifying women.
So anyway, one of my colleagues had to help her with her dress and sew the back up and shit like that. But yeah, once again, one of my coworkers were like talking to a few of them and networking and just getting a better idea of like what the event signified and what was it about, because we weren't even aware of it, because we were like, what the hell is this event, like what's going on? But yeah, it's an event that's Philadelphia based. Black entrepreneurs get together to signify like peace and whatnot in class amongst black folks.
Nice.
So it's amazing, and I'm actually planning to hopefully attend the next one next year.
Go, bro. Yeah, man.
And you're coming with me.
Of course. And
Fuck
Matt.
yeah. And Matt, we're bringing you Matt.
When we make him more
Fuck yeah.
Sicilian, when he's...
And we're bringing Vic. We're gonna bring the whole game.
Oh yeah, dude.
we're gonna pull up. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, man, it was great. I got some projects in the works. Be on the lookout for those. I got a lot of shit planned for the month of October and late September this month. Because Halloween's coming up, and you know I love spooky shit.
Your content will be great for if you do not drop anything in the month of October. That's an L for you. That's your.
It's been an L for me for like a couple years now. Because like I always plan some shit, but I never go through it because it's a lot of work. But
can I talk about that one picture that you did for your senior class? I mean, in college, the burning witch John.
Oh, yeah,
Bro,
got a lot of flack for that.
The Wiccan Johns will love that shit. You make a shirt of it.
I'm planning to do some shit with that. Actually, I'm finishing up. I'm revisiting that actually, because I was like, it's such a great piece, and I got a lot of shit for no reason on that. Fuck art school, don't go.
So, are you going back? Last thing, are you going back to like having your art be commissioned? Like, if someone wanted to like I was saving this for the pod. Like, I want you to design my sleeve.
Oh, definitely, fuck yeah.
So,
I'm down for it.
What if someone wants to commission that, like not just me, you know, being close to you, like a random person, will you be down to do that for people, or shirts, or?
Definitely. Been planning to put my art on shirts, selling prints, shirts, merchandise, all that type of shit. Also selling originals for a much higher price because they're original pieces. There's nothing else like that exists after I make prints of it. But definitely planning to do that. When it comes to tattoos, it's very hard instead of working directly with your tattoo artist. So being an artist, like, it's almost like being a third party.
Yeah, you're just doing a concept. Like, hey, this is the idea of it. Can you make anything close to it?
Right. It's tough. It's really hard because, like, you're asking a tattoo artist to sort of replicate that as opposed to, like, what their natural style is.
True.
So, yeah. I ran into trouble with that in the past. A lot of illustrators and designers like myself, we usually don't even touch that stuff, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it's too much. It really is. Instead of just doing a straight up a print, a design, what have you, or like an original piece, it's a hell of a lot easier to do that than being like, hey, I want this thing tattooed, can you make this thing? And then I bring it to a tattoo artist. It's far better just to cut out the middleman, which is us, and just go straight to your tattoo artist.
So fuck me.
I mean, I'm personally open to it. Again, it's a large hassle, but I'm not gonna turn down a networking or business opportunity or money, you know what I mean? So
if they want to, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in the realm of the spooky October shit, do you ever do Inktober?
Inktober.
What are your thoughts on that?
Inktober is very notorious. You either love it or you hate it, or you're like me where you can't fucking keep up with it because like you have to do something every fucking day and it's really tough, you know what I mean? Unless
like,
you
I've seen people who like half-ass it and do, like tiny little doodles,
exactly,
and other people who go like super hard,
yeah.
So I wasn't sure if that's something like liking the spooky aesthetic, you know, and having like the prompts to do stuff. Is that something you ever do for like practice or like just for fun? Or
definitely.
You ever want to do, you know, or do you just say, are you one of the people who fucking hates that?
I hate it, but it also like it makes me look inward and be like, hey, like this is what consistency is, and this is what you need to like really dive into and get used to. Is like as an artist, you always have to keep drawing because like all of us can probably agree that we also face like imposter syndrome, where we're not constantly fucking working on the thing that we say we do. Like if you're a lawyer, you got to find cases and handle, you know what I mean? You're always on trial and shit like that. But it's like when you're an artist and shit, you have to make your 9 to 5, especially if you're gonna be doing it full time, whatever, or you're part time at a job. You have to keep, yeah, exactly, like freelance, like that's your livelihood. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's tough.
That was the hardest part about like doing this now, because like I said, I had a conversation when I was at the strip club with one of the dancers there, like about being an entrepreneur. I'm about to say entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. Coin that term. He was the first to say it. Colorized 2021.
Seriously.
September 15th, Wednesday.
She was like being serious, like, yeah, it's hard making your own 9 to 5 because like you think you have all this free time to bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's like when you have that set schedule when you're working at like a Wells Fargo or it's whatever the fuck you work at, it's way easier to have a schedule when you, because a lot of people are impatient.
Very true, yes.
And a lot of people procrastinate. So, yeah, it's been the hardest part, but definitely, I feel like we're definitely, not just me, but we are definitely hitting our stride now. I love it. I love the energy we've been giving off. I'm very thankful and appreciative like that we got our opportunity. Thank you, little brother. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jihad, for keeping me straight. I
try.
To further notice, I told you 62 might start sucking dick, but but yeah, no, thank you like to everybody for holding me down, holding me accountable, and yeah, we
need to have an intervention, like
no,
I feel like fucking Steve Harvey when he says the most ratchet shit too, like on Family Feud. He's like a fucking host on Family Feud.
Yuck, yuck, yuck. What you say, Chuck?
What'd you say?
What you say? What you say? Hey guys, this is going to be one of our harsher topics, so a little bit of trigger warning. We're going to be talking about trauma, sexual abuse, sexual assault, etc. On that line, family dynamics, trauma in the Black community, and just in communities in general. So if you don't want to watch it, it's fine. We leave our bios, we leave everything in our bios where you want to contact us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. And yeah, we hope you enjoy it, but if you don't want to watch it, it's no issue. So thank you guys. We appreciate you, and let's start the show.
All right, guys, so we're going to get right into the topic. This is going to be a bit controversial to some extent. We're not going to be pulling any punches. We're being a little bit more... We're going to talk about both sides of the spectrum here, but we're mostly going to be discussing artificial attraction versus organic attraction amongst men and women. So we're going to really get into this. We're going to dive really, really deep. This is going to be a bit, I guess, problematic, but we're just being honest. We live in a very soft culture, and some people may get offended, but hey, like, whatever. It happens. So, like, you have any, like, input on that, like, about talking about it?
Yeah, no, you want me to?
Yeah, just, like, amongst, like, in terms of the intro, like, before you dive into it.
Yeah, no, I have no issue with it. Like he said, like either you want to listen to it or not. Put the trigger warning in there. If you're at this part, it's whatever. Deal with it or don't.
And we encourage an open dialogue. So again, this is up to interpretation, and we're open to hearing you guys out if you guys want to have a discussion.
We attack the idea, not the person.
Precisely. Bingo. So one of the first points I wanted to really bring up when we talk about artificial attraction and organic attraction and dating in general, and I know, like, we don't want to be another podcast talking about dating and how to get women, yada yada yada.
No manosphere for us.
No manosphere. We want to be a little bit more. We want to do something different, even though it's very hard to do. But we do want to go against the grain. But one of the main points I really wanted to touch on was like dating then, like I want to say before the age of social media, and like compared to now, where like social media is like the thing.
Yeah.
Especially like Instagram. Instagram is a dating site technically. Like for instance, like back in the day, like getting a girl's number was like it actually meant something. You know what I mean? It was very significant if you could pull a girl at the club or like out and about. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so getting a girl's number actually meant something significant. Like, you were probably going to call her that night. She was going to answer. You guys hit it off, and you guys plan a date, and things go forward from there.
Yeah. And it's felt more, using the word again, organic, whereas, like, hey, we actually seen each other in person, so there's no filters, there's no Photoshop, there's no, anything that can enhance or change a photo. Like, you're not taking a picture with like a teddy bear or something. It's like just you in your everyday life looking normal. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're interesting.
Right.
And it doesn't feel forced, and it doesn't feel as like cringy, so to speak. Because the awkward conversation that you have on Instagram, like even saying hey in person is different than saying hey online. Hey is like the conversation stopper. And most things, if you say hi or what's up, hey, how you doing? In person, it works. Online,
people feel almost that's a good point. People feel almost offended, like especially women feel offended, like when you
said on Tinder.
When you yes, when you have to come up with the most extravagant fucking pickup line known to man. Like you have to really be like you have to be like the fucking David Blaine of like fucking pickup lines.
Pull the line out the head. It's like, hey, I find you interesting. What type of crystal do you use? Like,
God,
you do have to like look at their pictures and like use context clues of what they're interested in, and then have a conversation.
So cater to
them, not cater to us.
I agree. True.
They're not gonna be like, oh, what video game are you playing, or whatnot.
But like, what's kind of the point of going out of your way to do all that if they're not even gonna read it most of the time?
Depends.
To be honest, because they get like hundreds of. Well, we're gonna touch on that a little bit more later on in when we dive deeper into the topic. But like, they do have like hundreds of thousands of matches compared to us.
Yeah. For instance, since we're already getting into it, like my ex had, and when we were having our first date at the park, like we were talking about like, yo, how many matches you had on OkCupid, because that's where I met her. And I'm like, oh yeah, I had like 102, and she was like, oh yeah, that's good. I'm like, how many do you have? She's like, 3,466. I'm like, and that already creates a dynamic where I'm like, damn. And I've been on this website since I was 18, so 2013, like, and she's only been on it for like about less than a year. And I'm like, oh shit, it always make the dynamic where you're happy, where you feel lucky to be with them, so you deal with more of the bullshit. Like you just like, oh yeah, I'm 1 in 3,466, not 1 in 102. Like the sample size is like, even if she has any faults, even if she has any problem, you're just like, but I'm lucky. I was
gonna ask, like, do you feel lucky, like you were granted the opportunity to actually go out on a date with this chick, as opposed to like all the 3,000 whatever the fuck number you just gave me?
Yeah, I mean, at first, before life kicked in, but like at first it's just like, I'm so lucky I get this hot girl and she picked me out of everyone, and look at me, I feel not confident in myself. She must have saw something that was interesting. And then it was like, wait, do I actually like her, or do I like the thought that I was picked? Like, is it actual attraction, or is it enhanced by the social media aspect, the you're 1 in a million, aspect, rather than like, do I actually like you as a person?
Right, I see.
Like, you dealt with it too. Like, when you match with a girl, and even if you get to the date part, you're like, wow, she actually came to kick it with me?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Even if the date is bad, you're still like, I still got to see her in person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think I spoke about this before in the previous episode. My Tinder date, my very first ever Tinder date, was absolutely fucking awful. And it made me want to delete the app immediately. And it was like, oh, damn, everything they say about Tinder is fucking true. Like, this app is dog shit. Very hot girl. She was definitely the artificial, like, attractiveness of that caliber. Lots of tattoos.
The aesthetic.
Yeah, nice body, really cute. Into the same shit that I like. And when we got to the date, very shallow. Loved talking about herself more than actually hearing the other person talk or actually listen to the conversation. On her phone the entire fucking time. And it just made me feel like I was delusioned. I was just like,
date's over at that point.
Yeah, I was just like, well, this is a waste of my fucking time. I want to go home now. So like,
bro, if you're on a first date and they're just like sitting on their phone, all like,
I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, but I was like, yeah, never again. I'm just being that guy now. I'm just like, yo, like, I see you have more important shit to do.
Yo, literally.
So
like I see,
cut it short.
I get when like we first initially hang out. If you're setting up your safety net, like, hey, yo, I'm with Bull now, because that's what girls do.
Sure.
Like I want you to do that. Like when I first went on a date with John, my ex, like I was like seeing her set up her safety, like, yo, I'm here with this person. You know, girls have to do that because there's a lot of silly shit.
Right.
After we do that part, if you're it disconnects like automatically.
It's a huge turn off.
It's a huge turn off. It's like I have to prepare myself for conversation topics. I have to have a sense of humor. I have to be funny. Like I have to
be funny.
I have to ask questions that are like intriguing. I'm not trying to be boring. But the fact that you just go straight to that is like, damn, well, fuck this whole. It's like me doing comedy and no one's listening. It feels like I'm being ostracized. And we're trying to build a relationship. That's why we're here, right? Are you just here for a free meal, or are you actually here to get to know me?
Yeah, that's a huge part of like the dating scene today too. Now you're gonna be called for foodie calls as a guy, which is very fucked up. Like we're very disposable. It's really fucked up out here, man.
That's the other thing with like the fucking over 1,000+ matches, and it's like the one side of the coin is like, wow, I'm so fortunate that this person chose me. On the flip side of it's like, well, shit, you have 1,000 other options waiting at your disposal if I don't do everything great.
You feel very easily replaceable. Like I don't know when I ask each of you guys this, in every relationship you have, whether a one night stand, you know, romantic, whatever, do you ever feel like that person was replaceable when you had them? Like, initial thought is like, I don't want this. I can't see the potential of going further with this.
Yeah, I've felt that before.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone on like a couple not great dates, or like maybe like gone on like a second date or something and just been like, yeah, like, you're a great human, but like there's no way in hell like I would ever like be with you like that. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, and usually I'll just like stop talking to them at that point.
So you got that energy. You master energy, which is rare. Like,
I mean, I've been on some toxic shit lately, but like prior to that, I always used to be like a it's all or nothing. Like if I'm dating you, it's because I could see myself with you long term, and if I can't, I don't want to be with you because it's a waste of my time.
So you don't just date for the sake of dating, like going on dates?
No, not normally. No.
So there has to be an end game, whether it's like one-time hookup, we kick it, we can be casual, or like potentially like my wife at some point.
Yeah, but I ain't like dating just to date. I don't got time or money for that.
Word, I feel that.
Yeah.
What about you, Jihad?
I'm 100% with Matt on this. Like I don't just date to date. At this point in my life, like I'm very busy, so I mean like that's all I really have room in my life for is just like something casual every now and then. And if I feel like we can like connect on a more deeper level to an extent, like we might go out on a couple dates besides like hooking up and whatever every now and then. But like even my last situationship I had, I told her straight up, and I'll always be honest with them, I am just looking for this. This is all it will be. I'm never gonna even like mention, you know, anything further from that. I'm just gonna be like, this is it. This is the contract. Sign here. There's no fine print. None of that. And in a lot of situations, the girl usually ends up liking me a little bit more than I like her.
Yeah.
And that's when she kind of gets hurt.
Did it get to the point where it was coming to like a point where you were expecting a I love you at some point?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I would hope not. But I at some point, if like it progressed even further, if we kept doing what we were doing, like hooking up and casually going out every now and then, it could probably definitely progress into like her dropping those words on me, like the L bomb or some shit like that.
Brings a whole nother factor into the relationship, even like something casual, because you can love me and we don't have to date. Like, you can do that.
I agree. Like, you can love people. Yeah.
Go ahead. My bad.
No, yeah, you can definitely love people. That's all I was really saying.
Yeah, you can definitely love them, but it's just like that brings another perspective. Like you said, if you guys are just like, yeah, let's just keep it peace and like casual.
Yeah.
It makes you second guess, like, maybe I should date her because I don't want to make her feel bad if I deny her. Because like, to be fair, once again, we are replaceable. So it's just like the fact that you're the chosen Pokemon, you're the Charizard at the beginning of the Kanto region, like you're the one that get picked. You're just like, damn, I don't want to fuck her self-esteem. And knowing that women, definitely around our age and our age group, have a lot of trauma that they haven't worked through yet. You're like, yo, me even saying this to her, what does she feel? Is she's gonna be, depressed off it? Is she gonna be sad off this? We don't even put our feelings first. We put theirs because we know
always
the trauma they fucking go through. Like on average, we brought it up, like women are sexualized, girls are sexualized from such a young age. Like men too, but mostly girls. Like everybody thinks women are hot, girls are hot.
Yeah.
Like
and they can use that as their advantage too,
like,
and they're full aware of that.
You can ask the most feminine gay guy of all time. He will say some women are hot. I don't want to fuck you, but you're hot.
Right.
So at a young age, you have beauty pageants, you have dance schools, you have all like that show Dance Moms. You have all these fucking shows that sexualize and objectify women from a young age. Everyone in our scene, are we going on time?
Don't you think those like kind of fucked young girls up though?
Of course.
From a young age, and then they use that sort of to navigate themselves through life, like their beauty and everything like that. But once that's gone, as when they get older, as they age, like what do they have left?
And that's when they get into our community, so to speak, our former communities. Like when they get into the hardcore scene, the artsy people. Like we don't get here in any scene where it's what is it called, subculture?
Counterculture, subculture, yeah.
So like
technically, yes,
you don't get into any of these bags without having some bullshit happen to you in your childhood. Like the people who wear like the shell tops and the jean shorts and the tank top, they have their life set and they're fine. But it's just like we get in because parents treated us like shit, drug issues, family issues, sexual assault. So you're already coming in as a woman into the scene where like your first boyfriend or your first experience was a man was most likely someone who was older. That guy from Spencer, that guy from Hot Topic. Dead ass. It's true. If you were a mall rat, like that's at Neshaminy mall, that was our vibe. Hey, the high guy in Neshaminy, some girl is hooking up with him. Oh, he gets her pregnant. Oh, he gets her into hard drugs. And by the time they reach the age that we're at, where we don't have that many relationships, like most of my exes or most of the people I even talk to have multiple partners, and like by the time I'm 25, I only have one relationship. Like I only have one in high school and one in post college, and I'm like, damn, you had a boyfriend every year of your life,
bro. I'm
not, and I feel like I'm more experienced because every partner you get, you just get more trauma. You're sometimes abused sexually or physically, mentally. You're gaslighted. You're all this type of shit, and then once you get to me, like you're a shell of yourself.
Yeah, you gave all those things to the other guys.
Yeah, you gave everything to the other guys, and it's like you almost want me to be that person. Like you almost want me to be like your next abuser.
Yeah, definitely. So that is organically like what they respond to, as opposed to what they'll tell you they like. They want a nice guy. They want a guy who's cute, funny, yada yada yada. Bullshit. Absolute
I think
bullshit.
they do want it.
They romanticize it, like again, going to like the Disney fairy tale, the idea of like what a relationship should be, the Prince Charming, the knight in shining armor. Every woman wants a white knight to some extent, but do they respect them in the long run? No.
The bad boys has more fun. Like you definitely in our community where you see like girls want to date the guys like who do a bunch of drugs or sell drugs or like that gun-toting lifestyle where they're just like being crazy. They like having fear that the man not making home that night. Yeah. This is not all women, generalization, but like there's a subgroup of women who are just like into like the horrible shit because they don't know no better. Like I said, all that childhood trauma, they don't know better. Like dudes too, we get here because we deal with the same shit and we don't even talk about it. We don't make a safety net so we can talk about it, and by the time we're at the age, we already been abused. We already had shit happen to us. Some of us been sexually assaulted. Some of us had horrible relationships where our partner cheated on us. Yep. So we already have trust issues. So it's just going back and forth of like, we're not even listening to each other. We're just like,
you're just barking at each other.
Barking.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, dude, on the first date, and I'm pretty sure you guys both experienced it. So they get into some real dark shit. And you're like, oh shit, I can't just leave you alone saying that. It's almost like you're fishing to see how I will respond to it. And I'm not trying to hit you with the damn that's crazy.
I hit him with the damn that's crazy.
But like
Every time. That's my favorite line.
I feel like I have to like say something so you don't feel alone and ostracized. Like I don't want to make you feel alone.
So you want to try to somewhat relate to that and empathize with them.
And then, but they use that against you in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Where I won't do it to them.
Yeah.
Not because I'm a good guy. It's just because I don't want to be your next trauma partner.
No, you don't want to be their next like supply of attention. You know, with their narcissist. A lot of them are very narcissistic.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And like I think that's something that has not changed throughout history. Is like what women organically respond to, like the toxic dude, the bad boy. The bad boy was always like the pinnacle of like the boyfriend experience.
Look up Greece.
But like, goddamn.
It has become such an aesthetic, though, in like today's society. Like, how many women do you know that you've seen on Tinder or online, or people that are like just Harley looking for her Joker, and like that right there, like
I hate that
the glorification of like the Harley Joker relationship, which is like
toxic as fuck.
Toxic, and like people put okay, cool, we got Margot Robbie to play fucking Harley Quinn, and she's a babe.
Fucking hot, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing is like everyone like puts this relationship on a pedestal, and they're like, oh my god, searching. It's like such a Tumblr aesthetic, but it's
with the face tattoo Joker and all that.
Yeah, it's so toxic.
The worst
like,
Joker.
If you actually read these comics and you know the dynamic that Harley and the Joker have, it is horridly abusive.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like that's like something that people idolize in our generation in relationships.
She's a therapist that turns into his victim.
Yeah, literally.
With psychologists,
literally.
like you're supposed to be helping him, and then at some point you become so in love with him. Like how a girl get involved in an abusive relationship when they fall in love with their abuser, Stockholm syndrome, and just be like, it's fine. He still treats me good. He treats me better than other people he victimized.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, first off, phenomenally well written on DC's end. Like that's
absolutely
a great concept and great like plot point for that story.
But it didn't expect women
in actuality.
And the redemption of like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and like all that shit further on. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but then it's like people are taking that and applying it to real life, and it's like, wait, that is not why we did this.
No.
I have one of my friends who's a little bit older than me. She's 36, and she was just talking about all her shit that she goes through with men, and like how much she hates men and all that bullshit while I'm talking to her, by the way. And I'm like, and she's like, yeah, I'm the real Harley Quinn. And I'm just like, you're 36 years old.
God, why?
Like, why are you...
That's cringy as fuck.
And she posts like things on like Instagram about like memes about Harley Quinn, about how strong she is. It's like, no, she's a victim, bro.
Yes.
You're a victim. Like, too. Like, stop. We don't have to do this.
No.
This is not entertainment. It's only supposed to be for entertainment.
Yes.
Do not apply toxic energy to your life and then be surprised when like dudes only use you for dick appointments and abuse points and then leave you. Like niggas will fuck you and use you for character development and get XP off you and dip.
Do you think like, all right, let's talk a little bit about like, I want to touch on like the friend zone too. The friend zone is very fucking real. I don't care like what you think or feel about it, it exists on both ends of the spectrum.
Of
like
course.
I think a lot of women will put tons of more guys in the friend zone, like they always have like some sort
lineup.
Of some type of lineup, some dude in the chamber, like, or sitting on a bench after their current relationship fails, or they might even be talking to the guy. You ever notice like when a chick breaks up with you, or like how many times have you ever heard of a story of like, oh, she left me for another guy, or you guys broke up, and then a week later, a couple of days later, whatever amount of time, she's already with another dude.
Or you guys on your break and then she already...
She didn't smash like 10, 15 niggas. But it's like, where did these guys come from? What, she just met him at a coffee shop the next day? Like, no. They were waiting. They were in the back.
They were on injured reserved.
Yeah, he said, let me drive the boat.
Let me drive the boat.
The fuck? Let me ride the waves. Like, come, bro, like... the friend zone is very fucking real, and I hate when women try to deny that shit like it doesn't fucking exist.
Do you feel like it's our issue too, where we force the idea like, hey, if a woman communicates with us, it automatically has to turn into a relationship?
No, absolutely not. But
not saying from you,
like,
I meant like in a sense like we don't get that much communication on a regular from women, and we can't distinguish. Does she want friendship or does she want my penis inside of her?
Right. I think like a lot of men on average, like we we don't have the same opportunities as women, especially at a young age, like when it comes to like their beauty and using their attractiveness to their advantage. Yeah. So when we actually get attention from a woman in whichever shape or form, we always immediately take that as like, oh, she's interested in me intimately or something like that.
Like some dudes can go crazy off of girls. They're saying hi to you. Hey, I like your shirt.
And they're jizzing in their pants.
You want to fuck me. You want my penis in your ass.
My dong.
Yeah, like you want it all in you. All 2 inches. Yeah. Like.
Right, but it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. But there's also like the friend zone for women, or like I like to call it the fuck zone, because like you get the chads and shit like that. You got the dudes who will fuck you, but they won't commit to you. And it's like, I think a lot of women these days are like, I'm gonna touch a little bit more into this like later on, but like they'll get fucked by the Chad or the Brad or the high, like, you know.
Red pill.
No, but I mean like it instead of saying all this shit, like a very attractive guy, they'll get fucked by this dude, but they'll get chucked by him at the same time. Oh, yeah. They can't get him to commit, right? So that's technically like the fuck zone or friend zone to an extent. That's for women. Like they'll always be the bad boy who will blow your back out, but he will not get into a committed relationship with you.
But not to attack you a little bit, but don't you, just playing devil's advocate, do you feel like you did that with the last person you talked to?
Absolutely not. No, I established everything from the very beginning. I didn't give them any like delusions of grandeur.
Do like, you feel like she could have read into it at some point?
No. I made it blatantly obvious. What are you looking for? Hey, this is what I'm looking for. We're both very busy adults. A relationship wouldn't even work, honestly. Rationally, it just wouldn't. Because the relationship would just suffer in the end. It would just die off organically anyway. I don't ever give them like, again, like any hints or delusions of grandeur, like this is going to be anything more than what we're doing right now. But I'm very strict on that.
Even if you're being strict, there's at some point, I feel like we all be in that boat where like you feel like you could, like how we feel like we could change a girl from all her trauma and like help her. I feel like at some point she's like, yeah, but I can give him enough pussy. He want to stay around for a while. Or I might suck his.
That's a big thing too. That's a big
deal. I might put a finger in his ass. Like,
all right, I don't know about that, Chief.
I might lift the Lamborghini doors up to the side.
God damn it! But going back to another point you mentioned about when you, by the time you get into a relationship, our age or later on in life, your partner is more than likely to have more experiences than you had as a young adult. Like your girlfriend's gonna have had like at least like 5+ partners before you. Like I think back in the day, before like the social media age, before all that shit was popping, like you were more than likely the first person, the only person they were really talking to. Yeah. Because like the only people like you really communicated with were people like in your city or in your town, or unless you're like folks had money and shit, you could travel, but like that was very rare. But like now there's like immediate access to everybody.
Oh yeah,
it's totally different. So like back then, like I think relationships it was more about like the trials and tribulations, like to really make shit work out.
You can really grow with a person. You can have more memories. I can't just be like, yeah, we met at OkCupid. Like, what are we supposed to do on our anniversary? Go to the headquarters of OkCupid and just be like, hey, you know.
It's like, right, it's like, how the fuck do you tell that to somebody? Oh, mom, dad, how did you guys be? Oh, we bet. I slid in her DMs on Instagram. It's like, no, like back in the day there was actually like the novelty, like the thought of someone, like missing someone. Now you go on fucking Instagram or Facebook or whatever, or Snapchat, whatever the fuck anybody uses anymore. I'm getting old, whatever. But like now you can see anything and everything they're doing 24/7. So you almost get sick of that person, honestly. Or like if they don't text you back immediately, or if like they haven't called you all day, or they miscommunicate some shit, or like something can be easily misconstrued on social media, like, oh, why are you following this person, why are you talking to this person, what do they mean by this? It can create a slew of problems in your relationship very quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and especially with like the idea of like the all the benched players.
Oh yeah,
you know they send messages on
bro.
Yeah,
on the regular.
Is everything okay? Are you all right, Boo?
Yeah.
As soon as they see a sad status.
Yeah. Or any, like, even if, like, someone posts, like, a selfie or some shit, you know you're getting at least, like, 5 to 10 responses on that.
You look great. It'll be the passive-aggressive flirting shit. Like, you look great today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you look so nice. Not the, damn, bitch. Or maybe it's like some hard eyes.
Hard eyes, heart reacts.
Yeah.
Blowing up bitches' pictures.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fire emoji.
So like with like the bench players and shit like that, with everybody waiting their turn, like there is very much some truth to the saying, it's not your girl, it's just your turn.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I hate the fucking guys who are just like, oh, my girl would never do that. My girl she's an angel sent from heaven, bro. You only know what she tells you. I'm sorry,
both
like
ways.
that goes both ways.
Girl,
Yeah.
Her own person who's gonna do whatever the fuck she wants.
Exactly.
You don't own anyone.
No.
The Emancipation Proclamation happened, and to my understanding, in our country, people are free. So you don't own anyone.
Nope.
That person is not your life. Once again, and I said it before, a relationship, no matter what it is, family, friends, whoever, is an expansion pass. Your own main game should be good. The main game should be good. But also you should have an expansion pass as well. Elder Scrolls Oblivion, amazing game. Shriveling Owls, enhance the game 10 times more. But I can live without that expansion. You keep making everything feel like, yo, this has to be me. This has to be everything. You're going to feel empty at the end because you're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be satisfied with that person. You're never going to be satisfied with your own life. You're going to hate yourself when that person is away because they make your life so much more fulfilling. You don't have your own life. People make their partners, and I want to ask this question to both y'all. In your past situations, do you guys let your partner take over your life in terms of your social life, your work life, everything overlapping in?
Absolutely not. Back in the day, yes. When I was young and I didn't know any better, because
When do you stop?
after my first my first real relationship, I guess back in high school, when I realized
You
like
did early, damn.
yeah. Well, I think I definitely got into more relationships before you. Like just like in high school, I had multiple shitty relationships.
Eating my dick.
See, this is why I beat my dick when I was 18. See, this the shit right here. I was getting pussy. I was getting you young whipper fuckers. You young whippers. No. See, I be telling my young niggas.
I be telling my young niggas.
Don't beat your dick till you 18. This is why. Niggas out here living coochie-less. No, but fucking no. No, but my relationship in high school, first relationship was really shitty, and I was dating a narcissist. It was very crazy. Like, the worst, like, first high school experience relationship. The worst experience to ever have, instead of having, like, an organic, like, this girl liked me for where I was, and I learned from experience. No, it was like, wow, I didn't really get much out of that, and it was really shitty. And I felt horrible about myself. But, like, then, like, on the flip side, the later half of high school, when I got into another... I dated a couple girls on and off where shit was just like a couple months, and it was like we just realized it didn't really work out, and it's just like, oh, you're not really who I thought you were, whatever, who cares. But like my longest lasting relationship at that time was like probably 2 years, and it was it really did give me a lot of like introspection on like just relationships in general and what people would do and like people's like attachment styles and shit.
Yeah.
I looked deeply into that. Like I'm a very scholarly person. I'm not the best at talking about shit, but like I can write my ass off and shit. Like yeah. Like one of my best majors was like English and writing and reading and all that shit. Like I love it to death. But like learning all like the psychology aspect of how people think and how they behave, especially when it comes to dating, helped me tremendously, especially during after like those shitty breakups. But like the major relationship where I really realized that I can't make people like my priority. Like I have to prioritize myself and my feelings and really look for inward and be like, where the fuck am I at emotionally, mentally, you know what I'm saying? Was at the end of high school where my girlfriend of, again, 2 years, she was going off to college, and you know, high school relationships end, especially right before college.
Yeah. And
you're gonna go your separate ways. That's just the way of life. Some people somehow manage to stick together. Maybe they have their whole lives planned out together.
They're more family oriented.
Right, exactly.
Like, I want to go to high school and have my whole face.
Yeah.
College.
Yeah. She wasn't like that, believe it or not. Like, but like still very, very cold and kind of very narcissistic too.
Yeah.
So this was like the third or fourth girl I was dating in high school, but like, the way she went about everything was just very cold, careless, unsympathetic, unempathetic, just like very self-centered decision that she made. But at the same time, like as I grew older, I respected it to an extent. Again, like the way she went about it was very fucked up, but like she just went off and did her thing, and I was just kind of left here in the same place for years, in like the same city. You know what I'm saying? She was going out to like LA or like somewhere in the West Coast, was going to one of the colleges I was supposed to go to, was CCA. And didn't end up going. I got there accepted twice, but parents didn't want to help me out. So I was stuck here in Philadelphia, the same shitty Philly. And it just, shit was getting worse every year. But like, again, I felt abandoned. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that goes to my point. You felt like that person was a big part of your life, and like
exactly,
you didn't have that space. Because, granted, having a girlfriend in high school for 2 years is a fucking you get a gold star for that. Like, even having, let alone having a girlfriend in high school.
You know, it was actually before you. I mean to cut you off, but like, the annoying thing about having girlfriends in high school, your homeboys will always be the ones trying to get with your exes. I swear to fucking God. I hated that shit so much.
One of my best friendships in high school, actually.
So were you the guy, or
no?
He was the guy that.
Homie was.
Yeah.
Every time, like 2 girls in a row, I started talking to her. He immediately started talking to her, and was like, "I have a crush on her." And I'm like, "Bro, like, we're talking. This is the thing now."
Right.
And we were dating. Our friendship actually ended because like we went out to a bar together, and he was like dead ass looked me in the eyes and was like, "I'm gonna be straight up with you, bro. Like, I really want to fuck your girl." And I just stood up and fucking walked out. And like, he was like, "Bro, I don't think it was that drawn." To this day, does not think it was that drawn.
That's
straight up ended our friendship because I was like, "Dude, that's just disrespectful." You know.
I respect your restraint for not like
decking home.
Oh yeah, I was pissed.
Like stealing him.
Like a bar that his family worked at.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
And I was like,
I would have uppercutted him off the
right now.
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
Yeah,
wild boy.
Like, it's always the fucking homies that you don't expect. Yeah. Like, no one knows any fucking better.
No.
You know?
But like, the way I was raised, like the way I saw, there was a unspoken bro code. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go after your homie's girl unless it's like, or y'all was just fucking and then y'all came to a consensus where it was just like,
Yeah,
if it's like if they have shit and it's not serious and that ends and like you talk to Bull about it, he's like, exactly. I don't care about this John anymore. Like, if you're into her, like, go for it. She was a fucking handful or like whatever.
Exactly.
You know?
Going back to your point.
What was my?
Oh, you were saying like when I made my ex my happiness and everything.
Yeah, like when you make someone your whole like experience of life, when you lose it, it's like, wait, I gotta rebuild. Like, you really have to hit the start over button.
Yeah. Like
the first time for me when like my first situation ended, and found out like she was dating someone else the whole entire time, the whole 9 yards. I'm not gonna get into it because privacy and shit, but like the whole 9 yards of like, yo, I was waiting outside your job, like you made me wait, I do all this stuff for you, and then you're just like, hey, I don't want to talk to anyone anymore, and then I find out, oh, you're dating someone else that whole entire time, and that's the reason why you didn't want to start.
Yep.
But you were just using me for like side dick and attention. And like you led me on, and then as I grew older, like you did, it's just like, no, that was on me, that's my fault. Like, I saw signs, there were situations that happened where I'm like, wait, I should probably dip. But at that time, once again, was the ugly nigga who thought, hey, I can change people because I'm a good listener. I can listen to people, I can be nice, I'm polite, and all that type of shit. And it lets people run over you. It lets definitely, no matter what you identify with, no matter who you are, if you have weak energy, people are going to look at you like a mill, like the hyenas off a Lion King. They're going to look at you like Scar. Scar was all powerful
from the back.
Soon he lost all that power, they were just like, we're on your ass. Yeah. They're going to get you. And I know that sounds like victim blaming because everybody has trauma, but victim blaming is something that privileged people say who never lived in the real world. It's facts. Like, you need to know where you are at all times. You need to know how you present yourself to the world. Factual. You present yourself to the world as being like, oh, wait, I have all this trauma and shit. The right guy, the right girl, the right person is going to hear that shit and, like, be like, okay, I'm going to act like I love you. Oh, wait, now I'm hitting you. Oh, yeah, wait, now I'm sexually assaulting you. Oh, wait, now I'm telling you, like, I'm living with you now. You can't leave. You're paying my bills. You're doing all this for me. and I'm gonna say I love you after I do everything. I'm gonna apologize, and then the cycle continues.
Yep.
And a lot of those people, like I said, it starts from the family, because it's honestly like the way that I would say mostly women, but all people to a certain extent, like they get, it's like genetic trauma. Like it's like your mom dealt with it, your sister dealt with it. It's like your dad dealt with it, your brother dealt with it. It's like it's almost like a cycle where it's like, yeah.
I mean, it's your product of your environment,
Mm-hmm.
you know? It's like
Yeah.
the same, which we've talked about before on the cast, which is like, if you grow up in like a racist household, like you're probably racist. You know,
Yeah.
if you grow up in a really abusive, like toxic household, like you probably carry a lot of those traits. And it sucks, and it's like it is a learned behavior that hopefully like people can get help for and get out of and like unlearn. But like, yeah, it sucks that like sometimes you haven't even done anything wrong.
No.
It's like the people in your family, like your parents or
Right.
like whoever your guardians are, who had fucked up upbringings or, you know, horrible things happen, and then they pass that trauma down, you know?
And you feel like it's normal. Like I quick story about my situation, why I just didn't want to do a relationship for the longest time, because I never seen a stable relationship in my life. Like the person I consider my dad is not my biological dad. I had a stepfather. I always had a male figure, which I'm really proud of, because most people, definitely black people, don't have a two-parent household, and I'm really privileged for that. I'm thankful. But like even then, like I seen my mom belittle men. Both my parents had an incident where I had to stay with my auntie because they both went to jail for a domestic incident. My dad was putting hands on my mom. And then I see my mom belittle the man who was actually treating us right, my stepfather, and treat him like shit. And he was my age he was 23 when they started dating. My mom was like 35. So like I'm now living the years he did, and I'm seeing more of like what he had to deal with. And I didn't appreciate it then, but it's like, dude, you're a fucking punching bag for a lot of people. And it's not just your partner, it's like your family. You do all this shit for people, and like, damn, I don't want that. So anytime I looked at relationship, even when I looked at my friend's relationship, I'm like, damn, y'all suffering. Like a lot of people are just suffering in relationship, but you just keep going on because you don't know better. Like you and I, the reason why, like, honestly, when we talk about shit, it's easy because you and I basically live the same lives. It's just when it's slightly different.
They cross over. Yeah,
they cross over a lot, and like it's scary. This like going forward because we're not breaking the cycle.
I feel like today it's either or. That it's like you'll date these girls who have been through these traumatic experiences and have had like shitty toxic exes, and you're the good guy dealing with her and her past trauma and trying to like accommodate for that or accompany her throughout that trauma and be there for her, right? But then she breaks up with you or just doesn't work out because you're not the guy to be beating her ass and shit like that. You're not that guy to do that. So that's why your relationship with her doesn't last that long. And then lo and behold, she's with another fucking toxic guy who is just a carbon copy of her ex, which is again like the organic attraction. Like, because I've had this ex, right? Well, I wouldn't even call her ex. She was just kind of like a friend that I grew up with. We had like we dated for like a couple fucking, it was a middle school relationship, right?
Word.
It just never worked out. But we stayed in touch throughout our whole entire young adult lives. And I just watched her luckily she turned out okay, right? But all throughout the history of our friendship, if you even really want to call it that, but like, she dated the same nigga over and over and over again, but different pair of Jordans, different pair of Timbs. That's what I always said. The same fucking dude over and over again, the generic ass hood nigga who doesn't really have anything going for himself, right? He's in all this bullshit. I mean, this bitch, she had like a miscarriage, right? Throughout high school, like.
That's traumatic. Itself.
All type of fuck shit. And just like, throughout the years and just like kept dating the same fucking guy over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, bro, like, when are you actually going to learn that maybe you could actually find happiness somewhere else?
A lot of people need to hit that low point by themselves. Like, you can give them
Unfortunately.
all the keys, but you need someone, and I just dealt with this with a friend, like you need someone to either lose you or lose something for themselves. Like they need to hit their lowest point by themselves. And even then sometimes they don't learn.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing. When you feel like, yo, you can't get any lower than this. You're like, watch me.
Oh yeah.
One more thing, Jackie. Like, but seriously.
Yeah, and I feel like the hard part is that it's become like this toxic behavior, but also like really intense trauma and like trauma dumping stuff has become so
the norm.
Yeah, normalized in our society that it's like someone has suffered from a lot of past trauma and they get into a relationship with someone else who has a lot of past trauma, and then both of them just are like, yeah, this is normal, and then that just perpetuates it, opposed to like if someone is able to get out of that and like get a little bit healthier, and then like, okay, now I start dating someone and they're kind of toxic and maybe you can like help uplift them, but then there's always the idea that like them being super toxic or like traumatic would then like kind of like hinder your growth as well. But it's like really weird that it's become so normalized in our society that you just assume everyone right out the gate is pulling baggage.
Bro,
you know?
Well, like I said, it's that, you know, we don't know better. We should, but no one comes in, no one checks themselves.
No.
Right.
No one. We're at a stage in life where it's just like we need to be this person, whatever it is. We care about mental illness, but we just want to have it. We don't want to fix it. We just want to identify with, hey, I have PTSD, I have trauma. Are you going to therapy? Are you even taking walks outside? Are you eating healthy? Are you drinking water?
Right.
Like, are you taking showers like the whole night, from incel to femcels to like toxic women to like the abusive dudes? Like, are you taking care of yourself? Why are you getting in another relationship when you just got out of being like forcibly impregnated by someone? Why are you fucking someone when, you know, your last relationship someone was doing ketamine? Like, why are you doing that? You should wait.
Yeah,
like,
people think it's better or feels better. It's more comforting to immediately have somebody else and to not be alone than to be alone and have to like deal with your.
That's the same shit I dealt with an ex. Like, she's been into like 2 relationships since she cheated on me and all that shit. But it's like, damn, like you really didn't have any introspection. Like, no, she just jumps dick to dick, relationship to relationship, didn't do any self-reflection whatsoever or like self-work or anything like that. I'm just like, wow, okay. Because she's like one of those people that just doesn't want to be alone because of like the past trauma she experienced as a kid. It's fucked up. Because
you got to look at yourself when you are alone. And like, dude, after a breakup, I went 1,500 miles to find myself. Like, and at that point, she got in another situation. But like,
did you do DMT? No,
I wish. But like,
did you eat elk?
I had to find myself because like, it was more so like, what did I do wrong? Yeah. And I know I said on the first one, like, I was beating myself up, but at the stage now, like, I'm not. Like, it wasn't fucking me.
No, it says more about them, like especially how things end and shit like that, and how things go. It says a lot more about them than it does you. Yeah. You know, you just didn't really know how to respond to it, and like a lot of times we as men beat ourselves up over a lot of shit too. And I definitely felt that way at the end of like my major high school relationship, where it made me realize like, damn, I really let this person be the say all be all of like my happiness. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like I was left empty. Like I had nothing, and I was like, damn, like I lost my best friend. Yeah. You know, like I was like, this kind of is fucked up. Like she just dipped, deleted all the pictures we had together, didn't talk to me for like 1.5 years, maybe. She popped up out of nowhere again. Like this is another problem with like social media. She popped up again like randomly like 1 year or 2 later to wish me happy birthday out of the blue, and left me these little like nothing happened. Like I just didn't suffer like traumatic like this traumatic experience and like depression for like 5+ years. Like I was fucked up, bro, because I was like, damn, like, and like it really fucked up like my other chances to get into other relationships too. Yeah. Because I let them know, like I was like, yo, like I'm going through some shit right now. I'm trying to figure myself out.
Which was healthy. Yeah. Which was the right thing.
Right. Yeah. Saying, and I even let them know well aware, like, yo, I'm dealing with some shit right now. I'm trying to like figure out what I want to do in life, and just like, damn, like it gave me trust issues. I was like, I don't want to get into a relationship again.
Do you feel like you try to make yourself too well adjusted, like for your next situation, which kind of harms you in it?
Ooh, that's
Because I feel like that's an issue that a lot of dudes go through. A lot of people, once again, but a lot of dudes go to. Sorry, I'm focused on dudes for right now. But a lot of dudes go through because we're preparing ourselves for the next nuclear bomb. But seriously, we're preparing ourselves for the next Hiroshima, so to speak. Because whatever trauma we're gonna have to hear from the next partner. Once again, not a fucking empath. I'm a human. If I hear fucked up shit from someone, I'm gonna stick my penis inside of. I'm gonna feel like shit. Like, I don't want to hear like, hey, I've been raped before. Even though I understand it's important, but it's just like, oh shit, well, that's gonna hurt our intimacy. That's gonna hurt. Like, it's gonna take us a while to even get to that point. I want to care for you. I'm gonna say, hey, ask you. And sometimes a girl told me like, hey, stop asking me that. But like, how am I supposed to? I want to make sure you're okay. Like, I'm trying to make an environment where you don't have to worry about being raped, being assaulted, being all this type of shit. And like, you keep preparing yourself for the next person, because you already know, like I said, if they're in our scene, if they're Wiccan, if they're punk, if they're folk punk, thrash punk, if they're hardcore, if they're art, they dealt with some fucking bullshit that you probably dealt with, but not as much to their extent. And like, you just keep preparing for a day that you can't handle, a battle that you can't win.
True. It's an uphill battle always.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I want to say it's like better to not even even deal with it. You know what I mean? I think we discussed this prior to in like another episode, but it's like you shouldn't be dating if you're that fucked up. Like, to be honest, at all. Like, you should really be seeking out help and counseling.
Company. That's why they're just miserable, and they feel like, hey, I don't want to be miserable alone. Because once again, you don't want to check yourself.
No. Speaking of like being too well adjusted or preparing for the next thing, like I wanted to touch on like hypergamy and the dating landscape and the competition that we face.
Word.
So for those of you who are unaware of the word hypergamy, it's pretty much, it's not exclusive to women or dating or whatever, but it's like, it's literally like the concept of marrying up or seeking the bigger, better deal or the next best thing, which is very common in today's relationships.
Dating for the bag.
Exactly. Dating for the bag, or whatever like benefits someone thinks they're going to get out of a relationship. But I think like with the introduction of like social media apps and shit like that, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, you have instant access once again to everybody around the world at any time. Right? So I think it's giving people like a better opportunity to like cheat and shit like that.
So easy.
Absolutely, it's so fucking, especially with like shit like Snapchat. I've had plenty of chicks who have boyfriends sending me like really raunchy like photos and half nudes or like lewds and yeah, it goes right away. But I'm like, yo, aren't you in a relationship with bull? Like, why are you sending me this shit? Like, this is kind of
save it and send it to him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, you know? It's a it's a conundrum. Yeah.
Right here?
Or like chicks be like, oh, your little boyfriend in my DMs again, and like he's sending dick pics and shit. And that's another thing too, bro. It's like fucking incels and weirdos.
Yeah, niggas don't know how to talk to girls.
Bro, oh my, he's sending hey like 12, 20 bajillion times.
That shit's wild.
Bro, sending unsolicited dick pics.
Also wild.
Not okay.
What's your go-to? Like, if she's not responding, do you like? I do the okay, bet. I don't even like respond back after once. Like, unless it was like something like, hey, you messaged me last, and then I'm gonna respond to it. Right. Like, I'll leave it off like, hey, I'm so interested, and if you don't respond back, cool. But like, there's a lot of times, even though she has those 3,466 followers or like likes and whatnot, or dudes trying to get in there, most of them dudes, a lot of people don't know how to speak to each other.
No.
And a lot of dudes don't know how to speak to women. Because once again, we don't have that much communication where it's like actual, like, no dudes have like a lot of dudes don't have female friends. The only females they have are their mom or their sister, and they start resenting them because a lot of people grow up in single parent household where their mom is like putting down niggas all the time, putting down every man because she's a better bitch. Let's just keep it 100.
I think it goes a little bit both ways, especially like in terms of dating.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is,
I get what you're saying.
Like, y'all deal with this bullshit.
Yes.
And then it's like, once we get to the point where we're at, it's like, damn. I don't know. Like,
I was gonna say that's crazy.
I know. I was waiting for you to finish off. Like, what are we doing?
No, I definitely agree. I think with social media, we've forgotten how to actually have conversations with one another
And 4K
and talk about
in
shit.
person.
Yeah, it's like dudes just think that women are supposed to just go along with everything they say and shit like that, or they just simply don't know how to like introduce themselves with a hey or like something unique, right? But at the same time, like a lot of women, even on dating apps, they'll just have a one word response.
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Like a girl sent me a heart, and I'm like,
Yeah, or she opens with a fucking GIF.
yeah, it's like,
So what do I do?
what am I doing? Like,
Which I appreciate it. I love me a good meme or two or like a funny
I need
gif, but it's like
context.
I do need
are
context.
you calling me ugly? Do
Right.
you want dick? Do you want me to eat your ass? Like, I need to know where we're like this train is docking, or if you're trying to dock me.
We docking? Hold on, wait a minute.
No, I need to know. Like, do you want me to fuck you and your boyfriend? Like, I need to know the dynamics of this gif. Like,
There's a lot of that online right now.
bro, dude, me being skinny and black, like a lot of girls want to like. I had this one situation, bro.
Oh god,
I had this one like older lady wanting to cluck me,
bro.
and like her husband hit me up. No cap. Like this is like.
Wait, she was trying to cuck her husband, or?
Yeah, like the husband knew.
Oh, I would have fucking. Why you ain't jump on that?
Cause I went to one of those.
Was she hot?
I went to one of those sex bars, like one of those like.
This nigga be out here, bro. What the fuck? Like, where do you find it? Where do you go to? Do you just look this shit? Yo, FBI agent. Like, what is his browser history, bro? How do you fucking know about these places?
I went to Texas and I met. I went to I went to one of those singles bars or like one of those couples around, and they came up to me like, "I love your hair. I love your skin complexion." White couple. They're just like, we just want to see if you were interested in like coming in the back with us and just getting to know each other. And like part of me is like, yes, this is a dream. But like then I'm like, oh, like what if like he wants to get on it? Cause I don't have a problem like fucking a bitch in front of her man.
Right, he's just in the corner beat.
But like I seen videos like this one porn star Amber Blank, and like her dude started like getting into it like with the dude, like he started sucking his dick. And like, it depends, cause then he upgraded and he started dressing up like her. So I'm just like,
all right. So wait, I think I know the video you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh hell no! What the fuck?
Fucking wearing thighs and shit. And I'm just like,
what the?
I can't get down with that. And like the nigga had a beard, and like the dude who was like trying to cluck me, and like. Or have me be the bull, so to speak, which is very racist, by the way. But like, it's a hella racist conversation.
Oh yeah, big facts.
But like, I was just like, nah, cause like I don't know if you guys are gonna human traffic me. You know, I'm in a state where like if I go missing, it's gonna take a while to go find me. Like we're playing Where in the World with Carmen Sandiego, but like Black Edition, Patois Edition, and like nah, but like. It's weird, like
you know. I was always wondering how people get like scouted for like how do they arrange like the cuckolding? Like how does that even like this just opened my mind up to like oh shit. Well, that's how they do it. Like these places exist.
Yeah, look, it's a vibe because like sometimes like yeah like ideally at some point I do want to try it, but like being just that.
I mean, I'd smash somebody's wife in front of them.
Like just record it.
That's like the ultimate like power trip.
Having me wear a mask and shit. Like,
bro, I wear a ski mask, like some Timberland boots with the knee pads.
I gotta bring back the
you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a gold chain just swinging while I'm clapping from behind and shit.
Oh, like DW?
This shit just like a bunch of keys, just like you know what I'm saying? Like dip my balls in her mouth.
You gotta wear the Tims with the ankle socks.
The ankles. So it's just leg. It's just all leg. I'm gonna have a tongue all out and shit.
With the brim.
And I'm gonna still have a fucking tag on and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be wearing. I'm gonna wear the fucking the beef and broccoli Tim, so you already know I'm on demon time. I'm gonna have grills in my mouth and shit. Barely gonna fucking talk.
Bro, it's just I don't know how we even got here. Does being cheated on like makes you realize the person that you don't want to be anymore? Like the person who allowed yourself to be cheated on.
Yeah, I would say yes, personally. I definitely was I guess what would currently be called a simp all through high school. We didn't really use that term back then, but like,
young bulls.
you know, I was very much a sweetheart. I had no backbone, and like one of my first girlfriends cheated on me like 3 different times, and it took me to like the 3rd time for me to be like, all right, this is put to bed. But I definitely think that like when you're in like bad relationships or aren't treated well or are cheated on, that like hindsight, it gives you that time to like reflect. And I remember being like, I will never let that happen to me again.
Yeah.
You know, or be like, if that ever happens to me, like I'm putting my foot down and like I will walk away from this. Because that type of stuff, I think like definitely, it makes you like look inward and be like, why did that happen? Like, why was that okay? You know, like,
am I enough? And
yeah.
shit like that, yeah.
And then realizing like, no, like, as y'all kind of said, like, one, like I come first, I am enough, and I have to build my own life. But then also realizing that like, if your partner or someone doesn't respect you or like care enough about you and who you are as a human to, and does that shit to you, then like they don't deserve to be with you.
Now,
you know what I mean?
When that happened to you, like in your last serious one, do you feel like, damn, I had this shield up and I kind of just let it down? Like,
oh yeah, I mean, I definitely think that like, yes, I let my guard down for that last relationship, and it was like cool, like I felt very safe, and so I feel like when that happened, it was then like, oh, see, I knew I was right, like I shouldn't have let my guard down. And I think that's like where I'm currently at with like what I was just saying, where like I'm not as invested anymore, because like now I have those trust issues, I have my guard up, and I'm like, okay, well, like after how many times, if this is the outcome, you know, you start to kind of like reassess how you're operating, and like, you know, you give out more or less depending.
But do you think you really let your guard down per se? But I feel like that's the issue with women that say they want like an emotionally available person, or they want their boyfriend or significant other to open up to them. That's because bullshit. They won't respect you, you know what I mean? And they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to probably cheat on you at some point, despite them saying all that shit, right? But I think like people are going to cheat anyway. You can't prevent your partner from cheating. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Some chicks are better at hiding it than others. You know what I mean?
Some chicks are habitual line steppers.
Oh yeah.
They would look for the line just to see and how you would react.
No facts. But it's like a lot of us as guys, like we're very oblivious to like their strategies and shit, or we don't really go looking for like that in our girlfriends. We don't look for them cheating. We don't go through their phones and shit.
You guys, I mean, me as well. But like, we all kind of been cheated on in some capacity. So like, we don't expect it. Like, women expect us more so to cheat than they do.
Especially if we're attractive. I think there's a lot of insecurity that goes like, if you're more attractive than she is, she's gonna definitely be like, oh, you get bitches, or you got bitches on the side. That doesn't really happen, even if you are like a really above average guy or whatever.
Even the girl I was talking to in Texas, like, she fucking took my phone while she was on top of me, and like we're talking, and I'm just like, yo, we're not even dating yet. Like, I'm not gonna cheat on you. Like, I'm
that's wild.
Like, chill.
Yeah, that's some psycho shit.
Like, I want to see it. Like, and the fact is, like, she didn't give me her phone.
See, that's a thing too. That's
what I was gonna say. I feel like, at least from my experience, most of the time, if someone or your partner, whoever, is like accusing you of cheating or being unfaithful or being whatever, usually means that that's coming from like a place of insecurity and a place of projection, where like they're doing something and they're feeling guilty about it, and therefore they throw that right at you because it makes them feel better about it.
My family member just dealt with that, where their partner was saying, like, I think since we're far apart that you're going to cheat on me, long distance relationship. And turns out, lo and behold, they're putting all that pressure, like, I think you're going to leave me, I think you're going to leave me. Turns out, A, you're breaking up with me. 2, you've been cheating on me. And like, it's like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
same shit happened to me.
First psychology, yeah.
Literally, it's literally
trick. I thought.
Literally, it's like Jedi mind trick. You will never know I'm cheating on you. I'm not cheating on you. You're not cheating on me.
Like, it's dead like
same. Yeah, literally the same shit happened to me. My ex would always try to take my phone, right? And again, I don't care. I was very lenient in a relationship. And again, like, you want to be somebody, it goes back to like being a respected individual. You want to be somebody I would much rather my girlfriend respect me than to love me any day.
Right.
Any day. I realize that's way more fucking important than love. Because love is conditional. Love is bullshit. The only thing you can do to lose someone's respect is to do something where you're no longer respectable in their eyes, right? But love is always, it's fluid. It changes. It's a feeling, right? It's something that can be there one day. They can see something better. They realize, oh, I don't love this guy. Maybe there's more guys out there, whatever.
That is a very, I don't know, nihilistic way to look at life. I'm not giving you pushback. I mean, it's real. It's just like, it's such a dark idea.
It's the truth, though.
No, love is
it's a choice.
Passion is real. Love isn't.
Absolutely.
You can have passion for anything, and that's overlasts love. You can fall in and out of love in a day. As quickly you can fall in love with something, you can fall out of it. It's just, I don't have that mindset of like, we ideally want a forever partner at some point, or multiple, whatever. And like, it's just, it's kind of callous in a way of like, damn, I never think I'm going to experience actual love, so I just want respect. Because of life didn't tell you otherwise so far.
Yeah, I would just much rather have respect than love, to be honest. Because again, all the women that said they love me, where are they now? Sucking someone else's dick.
Loyalty not found.
Oh, shit. Oh,
I want you to put the error bar on my face when I said that.
No, but like, no, like really, like it's fucked up out here, bro. Like, despite her saying she loves me, this, that, and third, projecting the, oh, you're cheating on me thing, or going through my phone constantly, like, right? I didn't care for those things, right? But I understand like why some guys will be on the lookout for that. They won't let their girl have girls' nights out and shit like that. Yeah. Which, albeit, women call it controlling, but at the same time, it's like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, when you don't let your girl do anything, that's weird. Like, she's not a prisoner or whatever. But it's like,
respect me.
Yes, exactly. Like, don't be out here showing your ass like you're on the market for other dudes, unless y'all have that type of relationship set up.
Because that's be totally cool different. Me going to the club,
exactly, and you know what I mean? Yeah, like, entertaining other women like that, it ain't gonna fly. But it's like, I was in a relationship where like I didn't care for those things. I was like, hey, go ahead, do what you do, as long as you're not cheating on me. I'm gonna take your word at face value. Lo and behold, like all this time she took my phone and went through it, found nothing, because again, I'm not cheating. The fuck, but. It came to a point where it was like, all right, you see my phone several times. Let me see your phone. And I held it for literally like probably 10 seconds. I was going through messages. I was looking for like emojis or messages with guys, da-da-da-da-da. She snatched her phone away from me like that. And it was funny at that moment. I was like, oh, what are you trying to hide? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I was like, oh, all right, caught your ass. Like, you're hiding some shit. Like, yeah, nah.
Dude, it's almost the reason why I forced myself the battle between being poly and being monogamous. Because, like, as someone who's been cheated on, it's like forced me into the idea that everyone I know, no matter how much you love me, there's gonna be someone else for you. I can't dedicate my life to you. I'm busy with other shit. Mm-hmm. I know you're gonna be lonely at some point, and I don't want to deal with the fact of being cheated on again. Right. So it's just like, or being hurt, or like going for that, because I was doing the whole thing that. Not eating, not taking care of my mentals, not taking care of any of that shit. And, like, I'd rather not go for that again. So I'd rather say, hey, here's your piece. Like...
Yeah, well, it's also, like, changing your perspective out the gate.
Yeah.
Like, opposed to going into a monogamous relationship, being like, this is my forever,
mm-hmm.
you will never cheat on me, if you do, it will destroy me, like, you're only going to be with me. Going in with a more, like, polyamorous mindset of, like, hey, like, you're your own human, I'm my own human. We like experiencing each other. Like, when we choose to see each other and experience each other, it's great, but I know that you'll probably experience other people, and I don't want you to not have to.
I don't want to control you.
Yeah, so, like, if you go in with that mindset, you already have eliminated the expectation of, like, them being yours in some capacity. So then it's like, cool, if that happens, I've already told myself that probably will, and it's not going to upset me because I know that I can also do these things.
Word.
And I think that's like a really good way to look at stuff. And like also like about a year and a half ago, I started doing a similar like poly / like open thing for myself where I told myself like I'm not gonna set these expectations for partners from here on out because of all the stuff that happened. And I feel like I have, at least for my end of relationships, had a much healthier time.
Well, it's like almost like we have trauma too based off our past situation. Am I right?
But I think
just a little.
But I think, like, again, going back to talking about hypergamy and, like, we also, like, compare our relationships to other people's a hell of a lot, because you can see all that, on Instagram, social media. You can see this over and over again. Like, people posting, you know, their, like, bachelor parties and shit.
Their 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary, renewing their, whatever. You
Having
know, them getting
and all, yeah.
engagements. That, remember, like, now that's video tapeable and shit like that. Like, you can just see that all the time. Everyone got engaged. Everyone's having kids, yada yada yada. But along with, like, practicing, like, polyamory and shit like that, or just having open relationships, casual hookups and whatnot, like, there's been a huge decline with, like, marriage. Right? No one's really getting married, but I think, like, a lot of that is also tied to, like, the myth of marriage. I think like 50% or more, like, of marriages end in divorce, but it's like 70 to 80% of, like, women are doing the divorcing. And I think a lot of that is tied to, like, hey, like, you were great, you're like, I like idealized you in my head, but, like, I want to try this guy out, or there's more out there. Like, the world is my oyster. I'm still young, and there's so many articles and stories I hear every fucking day about, like, women who, like, will have the perfect husband, perfect boyfriend, right? But somehow they still rationalize the idea of leaving them. He was perfect. He was cute, smart, funny, lovable, the sweetest guy on earth. But I left him.
Well, to be fair to that point, and once again playing devil's advocate, you don't want to leave yourself wondering if I should have did something different. You could have a good thing going. There's probably some relationship you had where it was a good thing, but you're just like, this might not be, it's good for me, but might not what I want 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So I need to try this. And they don't know, hey, you might close that door on the good thing you have, because the betrayal that person might feel. But I need to do this to make sure that I'm not making a mistake. Because that whole death do us part. Thank you. All that bullshit is a myth.
Absolutely. That's the myth of
like
death.
The human condition of, like, the grass is always greener. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how many times are you like, oh, what if I painted this instead of that? Like, what if I went to school here instead of there? You know, it's the human condition.
Right. You don't want regret.
I'm with this person. I've been with them for 5 years. Everything's amazing. But, like, every relationship gets to that point where you're past the honeymoon phase and things get, like, monotonous or whatever.
Yes.
And it's like the human condition to just go, oh, well, you are pretty attractive and you're giving me attention and that's new. Maybe this would be better. And then exploring it, you know? And, like, whether that's right or wrong, everything is situational in that case. But, like, I think that that's something that humans do a lot of the time. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who have, like, divorced or left their partners and, like, 2 years later been like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Do you think, like, it's better off to act on that or to just preserve what you really have and work through it?
Depends on the person.
Yeah, like, or like, I think, like, the myth of marriage is like, marriage is all about happiness,
right?
Right, but, like, I think Disney and shit like that has romanticized that idea, and it's more so about, like, the responsibility of, like, the house, the kids, whatever, the livelihood of the family. What's best, you know, sticking together for the kids, for the family, and all that shit like that.
The peak of their marriage is the wedding.
Absolutely.
It's not the trials and tribulation you face after. It's longevity, like the couples who've been together for 75 years and all that. The longevity becomes it, but I think the peak is the most memorable thing. It's not like when you guys painted your first room in your house. It's gonna be your wedding. You're going to make a grand big spectacle out of it.
It's the pinnacle of
the pinnacle. Like, you're going to have the wedding ceremony and all that shit. All your family and friends are going to be there. They're going to die. You're going to remember the people who were there, whatever they said. And then after that, it just becomes whatever your routine is. Work, home, maybe have sex twice a week. Maybe
less than that when you get married. It's gonna fucking, your sex life is going to take a dive.
Definitely after you have a kid, like, finding space there and raising a kid, starting a family. Everything else is routine.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna, even if you renew your vows, nothing's gonna change.
No, and that's the thing, is that there's the glorified love that, like you were saying, in Disney, where it's like, oh, everything's always perfect when you find the one. But, like, in reality, most long-term relationships are a pain in the ass and a lot of fucking work. And the reason that so many people get divorced and that whole like, oh, well, the grass is always greener, I'm just going to go over here, is because it's so much easier to find something new than to actually like communicate and work through your problems and like uphold the relationship. Because like y'all said, it's not like the love or that passion that you feel can come in and out, but like the fact that like, does your partner respect you enough to fight through and to communicate and not just leave you, or like it's actually work at that point and you're not just doing it because it feels great, you're doing it because you like care about that person and want to preserve it.
And to that point of Disney movies or romantic movies in general, the movie ends when they fall in love and have that last kiss. They don't show the life after.
Happily ever after.
Pocahontas, for example.
Oh God.
The real thing is she went to fucking England with him, and she was underage, and he was like 34.
Yep.
But she goes back to England and she gets sick because diseases that she's not prepared for and dies.
Yo, literally.
Like all those real stories are like, oh yeah, like it didn't end well.
It's more like the Brothers Grimm. It's more so like that. Yeah, that's the real story.
Yeah, they don't end well. They don't show the life after, and then you're like, okay, well that's my life now, and we just think for the now because once again we get married young, we do all this shit young. We're like, we're not thinking 10, 20 years from now. We just think those things are gonna happen. Like life is just gonna go how it go, perfectly or imperfectly. I'm just gonna deal with it. Yeah. And then you feel empty. So to your point, like, do you feel like it's a good idea to see if the grass is green on the other side? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes shit, sometimes not shit.
Sometimes you not shit. Like, same but different.
Okay. Because even with your best relationship with someone, once again, and you know this for a fact, sometimes you're just like, nah, this is too good for me. There's been situations, and like we talked about it before, like, there was a situation that was good for me. That girl loved me. She cared about me. But I was dumbing in high school. And, like, there was other factors enhancing it. But it was like, yo, I'm 18 years old. And she literally says she loved me. I don't even love myself. I'm a dirt boy. Like, at that point, like, bro, the fact is that...
Yeah, like a reality, like, shock.
Yeah, like, I was using 3-in-1.
Yeah.
Like, I was using the Voss 3-in-1 body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. Like, I was using that shit that is gonna give me cancer. Like, I wasn't, I had no skin care routine. I wasn't using rose water. I didn't care about myself. So hearing that a woman was like
in love with you,
in love with me, and like having sex with me when my dick stunk, like,
and you're like, you don't even know.
Like.
You know, like when a chick says you got the biggest dick in the world, like she has to either be in love with you or just like.
Or you had the biggest dick in the world.
Yeah.
One of the two.
I think it's the
latter. It's the latter, bro. It's just that.
Like,
biggest dick in the world. Big dick energy.
And then, like, I didn't even love myself, so I'm like, fuck it. And then after that, she dates, like, toxic bull who get her into drugs and shit and get her into sex work and, like, all that type of shit. And, like, dude, it's like, it's always that second guess. I'm like, yo, what if I just stayed with her? Like I said, there was another factor of it, and like I kind of want to get into it, but I don't know if it's the right way to approach it. Like, we were both black, like dark skinned, and it was like that episode of like South Park.
Oh my god, with like, Token and the fucking new
yeah, and
Cartman's trying to set them up.
We were both in the scene. We were both the hardcore people, and we were both, like she's hella Jamaican, same on my side. It's just like cool. We literally are the same. And then, tall too. And it's just like, we literally are the same. And like, everybody was saying, yo, you guys will look great together. And like, the underlining, like, why are you guys forcing us together so much? Why are you guys like saying, hey, are you guys hanging out? Hey, like, why are you so invested in this? Do you just want the two black people to be together? And it was that I didn't love my skin tone until I was 23 years old. Like, I didn't even want to be my skin tone until I was like 23. Because people don't understand. I said this in an episode that we didn't put out, but like being dark skinned was not a thing, like a good thing until like Black Panther came out. Then we started this whole Pan-African bullshit that we did back in the 90s. Yeah. Like having like once again being called like African booty scratcher, all that fucking
classic
slurs and shit like was my life. So it was just like I kind of didn't want to be with someone of my complexion for the longest time until I met a girl when I was 22, and I was just like, holy shit, you're fucking amazing. And like it changed my mind on it, and like I stopped caring. And then once again I start getting more attention, and I start being like, maybe this dark skin experience not bad. Maybe me trying to bleach my skin when I was in 4th grade wasn't
So you was really on Jamaican type time.
Facts.
Like you straight from the island.
Facts. Like I was really.
He's really bad, man.
I was really trying to like change who I was.
He was trying to be Sean Paul.
Cause nigga, like, hear me out. Like when a girl says, "Hey, I don't want to date you because you don't look like Trey Songz," that shit hit.
But
different.
you got the right temperature.
Oh Lord. But like hearing a girl like dealing with that all the time, like when you're in the scene and you're like, hey, you're cute for a black guy. Like those you hit those and like it's just like
I got that from other black women in the scene. They're just fucking weird.
And it's so rare to find a black girl in our scene
that actually likes black dudes. Yeah, bro, it's the weird
white guys are Asian.
Dating as a black guy anywhere is just a fucking mind fuck, bro. It's just
so weird.
So you date outside your race, and then people try to say you don't like black women. But if a black woman dates a white guy or anybody outside of race,
about it.
You go, queen. Yoff. You get that white man. You get that man. Yoff.
This nigga spitting.
Period.
He speak no lies, all facts, all absolutes. Damn, son, where you find this? Like, bro, it's so fucking annoying, like my whole entire life. And like part of the reason once again why I was at this stage where it's just like I don't want to date you because we're the same. It's like, dude, it just sucks because it's feel forced. And I'm like, damn, maybe at some point if I would have had those opportunities with other people, I would have been like more comfortable with it. But it was like my first opportunity having someone into me that I felt like, damn, this is what I'm going to end up with.
So you think like the race played a big part in it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, dude, colorism is a big thing. Definitely when like majority both of our friends are white. And like, once again, it felt like not authentic. It felt like, yo, we are in this control environment and we're supposed to be together.
I see.
It's weird. And like, once again, I regret, that's one of my big regrets because she went out the deep end after that.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know the person.
Oh yeah.
Someone else who smashed knows the person that we both mutually know. And like, bro, she went downhill and I'm like, damn, bro, I could have been different. Or maybe not. We probably wouldn't last that long because 18 to 26 is a big bet. She might want to have her hoe phase or her sex work phase or whatever phase. I might want to have my hoe phase like I'm doing now. Shout out to the lady boys in Thailand. But
Gang.
But yeah, no, I feel like that played a big factor in it.
Interesting.
Do you feel, because you also had that same situation where you get I use that as a joke, but being serious, like, well, not being serious about the joke, but like, you hate black women because you did outside your race. And like, you're the only nigga I know, and Brandon said the same thing, like, how the fuck do you get Asian women and when you live down, like, in Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how the fuck do you find a one who's not super, like, anti-black or whatever? Like, how? But then black women will look at you like, when you took those really high quality photos with that one girl, it's like, I'm not gonna say her name, but she was just like, damn, you really hate black women. Even though she wasn't black, she was but she was like, oh yeah, you really don't date anything but Asian girls.
Oh yeah, they get that a lot. I hated that shit so much.
Like, you fetishize, it's like almost like you fetishize a race.
I got called that a lot. Like, people use that word too fucking much too, and it's fucked up because that's not the way I see women that I date, or especially they just happen to be Asian. That's it. Like, they just happen to be Asian. But it's like there's nothing. Open. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with saying like you can notice like features of a different race. You know, Asians have usually like almond-shaped eyes, which are beautiful. I love almond-shaped eyes on women. Period. There are African women with Asian eyes. I mean, almond-shaped eyes. God damn it. Almond-shaped eyes. They're like Ethiopian women with like different eye shapes, and that's like very unique to like them as people and shit like that. Or like, or like, what?
Ugandans, like
Ugandans.
Yeah, like people
like
from
Ethiopian
Uganda.
woman, beautiful, gorgeous.
Bro.
But like they come in all different shades and everything. But like
African
things that are exclusive to like Asian women. God damn it.
I'm sorry.
Asian women have like, you know, long black hair or brown. They also come in different shades depending on where they're from and shit like that. But it's like I love black women too. I love black women who like being black. I've said this before. I like black women who embrace their natural hair. and being black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
about to get canceled. Let's go.
wait a minute. Wait. That's all. Like, that's all I really have to say to that point. Like, I'll date anybody as long as I like you. As long as you're attractive. You know what I mean?
And I understand because I hear that argument like, oh yeah, I like natural hair. As someone who has natural hair now, I get the struggle you guys go through, but if I kind of do it, you can do it too.
Right. It's like
I don't want to hear that argument anymore. Like
I don't.
Go for it.
This is the thing.
ISO.
Weave and all that shit and tracks. Like it's a commitment. All that fucking money they spend on that fake ass shit they put in their hair. I'm sorry, no offense, but also offense taken to like weave and shit. Don't get me wrong. I love me a Joan with a nice wig every now and then because I feel like you fucking a different bitch. But like, it's really a commitment. Sitting there having that shit sewn into your head and then taken back out and shit. And then like, you know, some of the girls who like be having like the shitty weaves that just be sitting in there for like months on end. And it be looking all crooked and like disgusting, and you be like, bro, like I could tell, like edges just be on fucked, looking shitty, man.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, black woman, you better get his ass.
You know, like, come on. No, I mean, but you have other women commenting on other women's like fucked up edges and fucked up sewings and weaves. I can't do that because I'm a black man.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm just saying that's another thing. Double standards when men and women have standards.
Oh, yeah.
Going back to artificial attraction. One woman's standards became every woman's standards. I like a guy that's 6 foot tall, 6-pack abs, 6 figures. Right? That's totally fine. You go, queen. Yas. Yeah, period. Yas. Right? But we can't have our own fucking standards of what we want in women.
Which is weird because they have way more pickings than we do. Like on average, it's rare to see like, oh yeah, we want certain standards. Like, hey, maybe I'm not a fan of body hair. Maybe because I shave my own body hair. I carried myself to that standard.
Yeah, dude, that's another thing too.
Like, yo, if I bleach my asshole, can I not expect that from my partner? Can it not be an like maybe I don't want?
I mean, that's a nice gesture. Like I appreciate a bleached asshole as much as the next guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like if I'm waxing and daxing, like shit is expensive. Like, if I'm not...
It's an investment.
It is. I get waxed, bro.
Brazilian?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Get pulled off. Like, dude, my...
Yo, put me on.
Damn, stroking the booty?
Yo, put me on.
I got you.
Cause I got, like...
Yeah, like, you don't want to reach... Yeah.
I got, like, hair in the... You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, hold my leg. I got, like, gooch hair, and I'm scared to, like, shave that. That shit's scary.
Yeah, I
don't
know what's down there.
Yeah, putting a blade down there?
Oh, no, that's... You playing with God. You playing with God.
You a machete for that. I'm going to a professional fucking...
Bro, like, I want that for myself. Like, why can't I expect that from my partner? If I want... Hey, I have good skin. I have really soft skin. Maybe I want my partner to have.
You want a woman. You want feminine. You want the opposite.
Going the opposite. I like women with rougher skin. It feels better. It's better for friction.
Come again?
It feels better. Dude, I like.
Pardon me. So you saying you want full on scruff?
Not scruff.
Full on beard.
No, but like my skin is soft, so I want tougher skin. Not hair. I would like tougher skin. Like the one where you feel it has form to it rather than feeling like a scrunchie like me. Like, bro, I have twink energy, so like I want my.
This is very much twink energy. I don't know where you going with this one, Chief. You lost me on this one.
Really?
Yes.
Oh shit, my bad, cuz. That was good.
Yo. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Come on, say what?
Like, it's not wrong to want specific things from your partner.
Facts.
And it doesn't mean that you should find someone who isn't that and try to make them that. But for example, if you are a black man and you are for whatever reason, attracted to Asian women, or if you want rougher skin, or you want like a bleached asshole, there's nothing wrong with you for that. No one should be able to shame you for that, because like your preferences are your preferences.
Precisely.
You know what I mean? And it's not just to be like, oh, I want this perfect person and I want that to be you and you need to be this. But like, if you want to find a woman who has rougher skin but like waxes from head to fucking toe, like, you should get that.
Which
like,
is hard to find in the punk community. People who want to actually shave,
Really?
like, regardless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I was like,
oh,
I
went
thought
to
you
art
were...
school, I know all.
bro,
Oh.
we all went to art school,
Yeah,
so
we
we
all
all
did.
know the vibes. The
Bro.
vibe has not
She just,
been
like,
missed yet,
Barrier with you.
bro.
I've seen some shit, man.
I
And
feel,
they teach their own. You know?
yeah, no, it's just not for me, and I feel like the point where you brought up the race aspect. The only part I would push back on is like when you deny what, like your bitchless bitch friend,
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're
Okay, cool.
like your bitchless bitch friend who was like, yo, I don't like black women, and because I have bad
Bro.
experiences with. Once you deny your own race,
or anyway.
or any race,
Anyways,
but definitely like, to be fair, when we have that stigma where it's like, yo, if I get this like red bone, the colorism, or if I get this mixed John, or if I get this white John,
again,
it's way better
yep.
than having a black woman. So I can't just be here as a dark skinned man and be like, oh, I only date white women.
again, artificial attraction.
Yeah.
Why people are so fucking miserable, because again, they stick to this one archetype of people.
Yeah. And then you realize, damn, you lose part of you because you're denying that part of you.
Yeah.
We are just as much as like our moms as we are our dads. So just to say fuck you to that part of our family, just because, you know, hey, I heard this on Jubilee, and it's a really good point.
God.
No, I know. But like this dude Percy was on there, and he was just like, hey, I've been bullied for being black, and it's something I identify for being dark skinned by black people and by other white people too. White people too. So it's just like, hey, if I do procreate, I don't want my kid to go through the same thing I went through. So like, I think you brought up community of origin, like, you know, something like, hey, yeah, I might be comfortable having a dark skinned child, but I know what comes with that.
Right.
And I don't want my kid to, like, I almost commit suicide in fourth grade because of that shit. I don't want my kid to go through the same thing. So I might date someone, and so I felt like when I was younger, someone who had a lighter complexion, so my baby, if I wanted to have kids, wouldn't have to deal with that shit.
Right.
It's a real thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, you don't want your kid to suffer as much as you did.
That reminds me of a post I saw actually over the week. Some dude posted something like, "Oh, I gotta have like a Asian mixed baby or whatever. They're just too adorable." Da 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 da. And people were like, "Oh, this sounds like some pedo shit." Da 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 da. I mean, no, he didn't say they were like attractive. He just said they're too adorable. But albeit it is still wrong to like just fetishize like that thing, having a mixed baby because they're so adorable.
Was part of your
Like,
attraction, I mean, not saying like it's your fetish, but like, do you deal with any part of that in your like
my dating life? It's just like, not really. It's like, again, like with like the art of, like, I always look at the artificial aspect of like why people are attracted to people, right? I don't limit myself to just a specific race or anything like that. It just happens so by chance. Like, a lot of the women I've recently dated have been Asian. In between there, yes, I've dated black women. I've dated a couple white girls every now and then.
And it's documented. Like, y'all can look up his history.
Yeah, I got a track record. It's like,
The thing is like your partner having more like aligned interests and similarities with you. So for example, in your case, like if you read a lot of manga, you watch a lot of anime, you really like Japanese culture, like you really fuck with this whole aesthetic, and then therefore like when you're matching with people on Tinder, people who like that tend to be Asian. And it's like, okay, that would make sense for you to be dating multiple Asian women.
Right.
But like, if a black John comes through and fucks with all of those things, I'm sure you're gonna get torqued and be like,
fuck
let's
you.
go. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
To be honest, I'm more attracted to that because it's such a rarity where it's just like, oh, you're the quote unquote, you're acting white.
yeah. See, that's what pissed me the fuck off about my first Tinder date. She was the John. She was a light-skinned John that liked the anime and manga and shit like that. Shitty date.
I secured the bag.
Yeah, you think you got a
shitty-
fucking diamond and you just got a lemon.
Shitty date, yeah.
Driving a lemon?
And she, and she was very and she was very dishonest about like her fucking. She had OnlyFans and all that shit. She was very dishonest about that shit, just very hiding it. But I was like, all right, whatever.
So going into like the next part, which is like accountability. Honestly, this is something that applies not just to like relationship between female, male, whatever, non-binary, trans. It applies to like friendships too. And it's getting semi-serious right here. Like, you're my fucking brother. Like, you are, like, it's you, my friend Joe, my brother Evan, and Tristan and Kurt. Like, you guys are literally blood to me. There's no further, there's nothing in between. And like, there's a lot of time, and during the last week when I dealt with that situation with homegirl, like, it made me realize, yo, I have something steady. And like, there was a situation between us a few weeks back when I was being like flagrant. Like, when I have a sense of humor that's very dark.
Yes.
And I don't, once I see someone laughing, not even blaming on this is me. Once I see like there's a joke and people are laughing, I can't stop until I'm done.
Right, keep going.
Yeah, like,
the show must go on.
Get them, like in How High, get them, and I don't stop. And
right.
Like, I was talking about a sensitive topic to you, and I was just like, it's whatever. Like, we talk about all this horrible shit. I shit on myself, so if I shit on someone else, it doesn't matter. And I didn't put anyone's feelings in part. If you didn't check me then, like, our friendship probably would have lasted, probably added on another 10 years to our friendship. Because if you didn't check me, and I didn't allow myself to be checked, I would have been like, whatever, like, nigga tripping. It's just like, this nigga being emotional, he's being a bitch. No, seriously,
yeah,
if I didn't care about your emotion.
No, real shit, yeah.
And then a lot of times when we just let shit go, like, we just, if you kept being passive about it, there's gonna be one moment where I say the wrong thing, and it's gonna be adding up for years and years of me being a habitual line stepper, and then you're gonna fucking snap. And then it's going to be like, we might be cool after that, but we're going to lose something. We're going to lose part of that relationship. And like, honestly, it made me reflect on all my other relationships with people. It's like, dude, how many lines did I step where people were just like, it's okay? Or like, I need you to check me. I need to allow myself to be checked. I need to hear that I was wrong. Because you even saying like, bro, that wasn't fucking cool. And it wasn't like on some aggressive shit. Like, you talked to me like how you would.
And I did it in private. Like, it was
and
just,
you did it in private.
Us, right.
A lot of times people want to call people out in person or online and just be like, yo, look, this person is a fucking dumbass. They're a dickhead. Like, dickhead of the year right here. Look, let me expose them. Which you could have.
Right.
But you're a man and I don't expect that from you. Dead ass. Like, that's some bitch shit. And that's not even some female shit. That's just bitch tendency.
No, real shit. And I respect the fact that you can, again, like, you're holding yourself accountable and you're reflecting on what you did.
Yeah.
Right. He who shall not be named, my old homie, ex-homie, the bitchless bitch nigga, who would make like sly remarks and shit.
Goofy.
Like, yeah.
Fuck nigga.
Who would make like indirect sly remarks online, right? And like publicly, it wouldn't be like on private friends or nothing like that, or close friends, excuse me, or anything like that. And they were obviously directed towards me because I would be the only person aware of what he's talking about.
The indirect directs.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, like, that's how you feel, and it would just come out of like left center, just like out of nowhere for no fucking reason. And I was somebody he respected or looked up to. I wouldn't say respected, but looked up to, because it's somebody that respected you wouldn't do shit like that. But like, I didn't check him because like, it was sort of like a waste of my time, and there was no longer any value in that friendship. Right? I no longer want to be friends with people like that, especially seeing how they treated their previous friends throughout the past the same exact fucking way, doing little shit behind their back, or this is how they really feel about them, or like taking advantage of what they provide for them, or something fucked up like that, right? And then eventually, when they no longer have a use for their friendship, or like things aren't going the way they would like things to go, they discarded them and stopped being friends with them and shit like that.
You see that in a lot of like, I would say, not bringing it back to female, but you see that in a lot of female friendship where they force a relationship to be like, yo, I love this person. You only know them from like 6 months. And then you have a falling out, and then you're like, I feel betrayed because you never actually knew the person. You never had real talks besides talking about trauma, but you guys never just had a conversation like one-on-one about life and like talk about shit.
Yeah, or when they're together, everything's perfectly fine, and then like, the second the one person leaves, they're like, "Fuck that bitch, she'd be doing all this shit," and you're just like, "Wait, why don't you just talk to them about it?" And they're like, "Well, we can't do that. Like, our relationship's more complicated than that."
That's what I got out of that. Yeah, that's what I got out of that.
Talk to them.
Exactly. I'm like, bro, if you felt some type of way about me, talk to me about it instead of taking shit to the internet and being like, yo, fuck this guy. But it would be like about the most mundane shit. Oh, this guy hasn't beat Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, but he owns both of them. Bro, I'm out here achieving shit in real life. The fuck? That's not an achievement. I'm sorry. I can't play video games like you and waste time reading fucking One Piece all day. Albeit One Piece is Gucci. It's cool. I'm not disrespecting One Piece. But like we're gonna get into like the incel shit. But bro, like you really got to be out here like doing some shit in real life. Like he had nothing to show for himself for years.
Do you feel like a lot of, and going full circle with it, do you feel like if
it's your favorite line?
I know, but it's very relevant.
It's a trademark. That shit.
Trademark. In terms of all of us, and I want to hear everybody's perspective, like, are there a lot of times when you, and I'm not trying to take the blame on myself, I fucked up, but a lot of times where you don't stand up for yourself or you don't like convey your message well? Like, I know one situation with you, and like where you were just like, hey, I let people do what they want because I'm not confrontational.
Yeah.
And like, do you feel like it hits a point where you're just like, fuck, I'm actually upset, but I don't want to say anything because I know I'm going to go off the deep end. It's going to be way more than it's needed. I'm going to put too much spice on it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think that's the thing with, like, holding back on that is, like, it does build up. And it's like you can pretend that if you just, like, oh, if I don't talk about it, it'll just go away. But, like, it sits with you. And that's something I've learned, like, even, like, since that situation and stuff where I was like, I just need to put my foot down and communicate more. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, uncomfortable conversations create growth. And if you don't have those, like, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to get stagnant. And also, like, no one is going to, like, grow from that. Your relationships are only going to fester more, you know?
True.
That's why we, like, when I first met you, I wanted to get that, like, the first couple times, like, it was a filling out process to see if we can do this. But more so it was like, yo, like, if I'm talking for 3 hours, 2 hours at a time, I need to know, like, we can have this back and forth without you being like, yo, I didn't like when you said that. I don't like when you approach it like that. Because then it's like, nigga, you could have just told me, like, a grip ago.
Right.
Like, you really could have told me. There's friendships I had where it's just like, I had an outburst a few months ago where I'm just like, I really fucking hate this person. I really do not like this person. They give me bad energy anytime I'm out. Why am I here? And, like, I didn't need to go there. I could have just been like, yo, I told you not to bring this person. You did. It's fucked up. I don't want to see them on a regular.
Right.
I need to convey that in a way without me being on my brother's fucking floor and like low-key crying out of anger. I mean, granted, it was me hearing the fact that one of my friends died and the dude was like, oh, he was a fucking dumbass. Like, it was more so a combine of that, but me having that outburst because like, yo, I already do not like this person. So this is just giving me another reason to add on to it. So like I said, it's more so, yo, I needed to convey this message way earlier. We don't do that in relationships. In my past relationship, I'm like, yo, she's tripping. I don't want to attack it right now because I don't want to feel like I'm bringing aggression. But, yo, her being like, yo, I don't give a fuck about what you're going through. Whatever I'm going through, whatever. Like, there's a scenario where, like, I have a massive gag reflex. Once again, no. Can't suck a dick. No, pause. I will be the worst bottom ever. I cannot top, flop, knock. I can't do any of that shit. So, like, I have a massive gag reflex, and I had a massive headache. My ex-girlfriend comes over, and, like, she's already going for shit, and, like, I'm telling her, like, yo, I have a massive gag reflex. I try to take ibuprofen for my headache, and then I was just like, nah, spit it out, put it in the trash can. But the container, like the whole pill jar was in there, and she saw it on my counter, and I'm like, yo, yeah, like I gagged on it, and I didn't know she had a thing with that. And like, I'm in my fucking onesie at the time. I'm in my fucking Eeyore onesie. And like,
this gets a little more suspect as the story goes.
I know, context, but like I did that because she likes adorable stuff. And like, she likes.
Wait, was she white? Are you into like slave play, like slave role play?
bro, nigga, I am being
Race
serious.
plate?
You just did that, and I fucking hate you.
Are you the race plate? No, go ahead.
No, so like I'm in a onesie, and like there's a height dynamic, and there is the race dynamic, and I'm in a suburban neighborhood, and like she gets super like itchy about it, and she's like, I gotta leave, I gotta go, and then she starts crying and runs out my house, and I'm like, yo, can we talk, and I like low-key won't go after her, not grab her, but like be like, yo, can we talk? And I'm running to the front door, and she's running out my house crying, and I'm like, yo, I need to check you because like, hey, there's 2 black men that live in this house, me and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't know a 5'1" white girl leaving my house crying while me being like, wait, stop. And everybody in my neighborhood has a gun.
There's implications.
And one of these niggas are waiting to Emmett to till the fuck out of me. And waiting for me to like, no, seriously, they're probably waiting for me to fuck up and just, you know, end my
go
fucking
off the
shit.
deep end.
And like, she didn't, you're good. She didn't like, and I didn't check her about it. She was like sending me the, yo, please don't hate me, all this bullshit. But as soon as I told her like, yo, a lot of shit could have happened off of that. I could have went to prison. You could have felt bitter and mad, and you could have put an accusation on me, even though nothing happened. And you just ran to my house crying because you couldn't handle your emotion. A lot of shit could have happened to me, and like I should have checked her there, but I was like, it's fine. You know, she's going through a lot right now, and I've been put, my life was fucking at risk. My mind went through that, and I couldn't convey that to her because I was like, yo, this is not about me. I need to figure out what she's going through.
Right.
And then it kept going on where I was just like putting her feelings before mine, and then it came to a point where it was just like, oh shit, like, you're fucking tripping all the time, and I can't find peace because I didn't set the standards. Fucking peace. I didn't set the standard of like, yo, this is what I can handle, and this is what I can't handle. And by the time I got to the point where I was saying it, it was too little, too late. She kept telling me shit that like I couldn't deal with, and I'm like, I didn't set the standard of like, yo, you need to go to someone else. You need to go to therapy. You need to do this. You need to stop forcing therapy on me because I'm not doing the same shit you're doing. And I want to ask you guys the same, like, in any relationship, I know with your friend, but in any relationship, do you feel like it could have been mitigated, like the fallout, whatever, could have been mitigated because you didn't, like, let your voice be heard because you're a man and you feel like you can't really do that? You need to be the protector of her, not of yourself? I know that's a loaded question, but, like...
That's a very loaded question.
More so...
Come back to me.
All right.
I would say for me, in my earlier relationships a little bit, because I felt like I was saying earlier, like I didn't really have much of a backbone, and I was always like a people pleaser and wanted to make sure that this person was like taken care of and I did nothing wrong. I definitely think that like my own accountability and like communication would have helped a lot. But I think in like my later relationships, once I like grew up a little bit, not as much, because I very much am like lay the cards on the table. I try to like communicate my voice as much as possible now, like in the moment, so that I don't have like situations similar to yours or things like that where I'm like, hey, look, like I'm just a straight shooter. I'm gonna tell you, communicate how I'm feeling, and like my thing is I expect the same. Like, yes. If we are communicating and, like, we are have any sort of relationship, like, if you feel some type of way, I respect that. That is totally fine. Just communicate how you're feeling. Then we are both on the same page. And if you need to leave, if you need to do something, if you need to be on your phone at the table, like, whatever. If you communicate with me,
honestly, fine. Just be honest and be open, because it's scary when they're not.
Straight up. Yep. Absolutely. For me, I would say the same. When I was young, I didn't really have much of a backbone. I was very nonchalant about a lot of shit. And all throughout my life, I've always held myself accountable, right? I was always like, oh, damn, the reason she did this is because I wasn't enough, or I lacked something, or because, yes, that's probably where I fucked up, or something like that. Especially like when I was cheated on in one of my previous relationships. I felt like everything was my fault.
Yep.
I was holding myself accountable, like that was the reason why. But looking back at it, when I spoke to her in that moment and everything, like discussing the situation, it was always, I felt this, you made me feel. And I started to pay attention to like the language people use, especially like my relationships after that one. And even in the latter half of being cheated on, instead of letting shit just fly and just letting it be and be like, oh, well, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Or, oh, well, yeah, you're right. I was too busy for you.
It is what it is.
Idiot, what it is. And you know what I'm saying? Instead of it being just that and letting it just die like that, I said, no, fuck that. I'm angry. I'm going to hold you accountable for your actions. There's no fucking, oh, I didn't make you feel any type of way. I didn't make you put the dick in your mouth or your pussy, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do that. I didn't force you to do any of that. I didn't persuade you.
Out.
Yeah, none of that shit. So it's like, you that was to your own accord, you know what I'm saying? No one forced you to do any of that. So you decided to cheat. That you made the choice to entertain that situation.
But when she brought up the points of like, yo, I felt this and I felt that, do you feel like certain conversation where you felt like everything was fine? Do you feel like you could have just checked up more in the intermediates?
No, because just like your relationship, just like your situation it was all about her. It was always how she's feeling. And again, about accountability and like what we don't discuss or talk about is like how we as men are feeling in a relationship.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Women don't ask how we feel. We have emotions. We're human. A lot of women look at us like, oh, damn, I forgot dudes had feelings. You know what I'm saying? Literally sit down and ask your significant other, ask your man how he's doing.
Yeah.
Are you okay? How are you doing right now in life?
Yeah, like where's your mental?
Are you stable? Exactly. We don't get asked that question.
How are we doing?
Yeah. But it's very like, our emotions are like inside, you know what I mean? Like, but theirs are like very overt, just very like out there.
Could you feel like if you check up on a relationship, like the question, how are we doing?
Right.
It's like are we breaking up question? Like, do you feel like checking in on that is like a weird, like, yo, I'm saying it so like I know if we're on the same page. Do you want to try something different? We can still stay together. Do you want to be poly? Do you want to see other people? Do you want to break up? Do you need a break from my existence? Like all that type of shit. And do you feel like that question within itself, as a man, asking that is a scary question because you don't want to put the thought in their head like, bitch, I'm leaving you?
I definitely think so, because a lot of people, they don't like confrontation. A lot of people, it sounds very confrontational. And I think a lot of women definitely would see that as like a breakup question right off the bat.
I love asking that question now, just to say like, yo, even with my friendship, like once again, everything, but like, yo, how are we doing?
Yeah,
yo, are we straight? Yo, are we good? Are we?
If somebody's acting iffy or you see problems arise, definitely like ask that question.
Because you see mannerism change. You see like they might make that sticker at a joke where you're just like, that's not really funny, or like they look at you, they give you the weird side eye, or like they don't make eye contact with you anymore. Like certain thing is missing, and you're like, or certain intimacy. Like a girl, you go in for a kiss on the lips, she give you a kiss on the cheek. Right. What's up with that?
Something.
You like something like. What, like, I got dick in my mouth? Like, do I smell bad? Like, tell me. And like I said, it could be the most minor of instances. Like someone leaving a toenail in your bed. Like, I have an anti-foot fetish. I don't like feet. Well, that's a story for another time. But, like, the minor issue can linger and become so big if you don't say, yo, where are we at right now?
Right.
Yeah, and if you don't communicate, like what you had just asked Jihad about, like, in like an end relationship, right? It's like, oh, well, like after it ends, if like she cheated, like, do you ever think like, oh, do you think you wish you would have communicated better or checked in more? Like, I don't know, if like your partner is at that point where they feel that distant or like the desire to cheat,
nothing
like honestly, I feel like for accountability wise, like they should be communicating that. Like if you're like, I don't feel as attracted to my partner, or I feel like they've been doing this thing that annoys me and it's a turn off, and like my advice would be like, yo, you should be communicating that. You shouldn't be bottling that up and being like, I'll just ride it out and see if it gets fixed or I'll go elsewhere. You'd be like, hey, these 3 things have been on my mind lately. I'm not telling you to change. That's just how I'm feeling.
Right.
And then at least it gives you that agency and that knowledge to be like, this is what they said to me. This is what they're feeling. Like, do I have a desire to change this, or is this who I am and I'm going to keep doing it? And you know what I mean? You
can keep your honeymoon period going on way longer if you keep doing that. Like some relationships never have to argue. Like, because they start out right off the back. Like, yo, if there is a problem, let me know at the beginning. It's open. I'm not going to criticize you. I'm not going to think less of you. let's just talk about it right now. And then like the old couple that had the resilience lasting 75 years, because they got used to the routine and they always respected each other and always were open.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's very important. It's an integral part to a relationship. Absolutely.
Nobody fucking does it. Literally.
Right.
Like we're talking about it, it's just like we just don't do it though.
Yeah, it's hard. It's fucking hard. It really is. You know, having those important conversations, having those tough conversations, it's scary. It's pretty scary, to be honest.
And I find it harder to do when you have a longer term relationship with people. Because like with my friends, with the two people I was talking about, like it's really hard to like bring up certain shit because like I just got around to talking about shit I dealt with like when I was younger. I just got around to doing that. So like they never knew until I had my outbursts on how I actually felt. There's certain people who were added to the group like, yo, I didn't know you were like had that much bullshit against you.
Yeah.
And then like you're terrified of bringing it up because once again you had this idea like once again being like the token black guy is the stereotype of like, hey, like in a TV show they never have character development. Like every other character have character development, but they're just I'm shucking and jiving. I'm funny. I dancing.
Black guy.
Oh, I'm really rocking in the ball pit. Like, I mean, that was actually me. But like when I'm actually going for actual shit, granted, most of the shit conversation came up during like George Floyd and when that Breonna Taylor and all that stuff happened. Like, then it was like the first time we could actually have the opportunity, and I shut that shit down because it's just like I'm not comfortable. I'm not in a state where I'm comfortable yet to speak about it. So it's like. It's hard to find an even playing field where we're like, yo, we've been cool for so long. I don't know if I bring up this topic, if it's going to like derail something or you're going to feel uncomfortable around me. Because if you find out new information about someone, like you feel like you know them, you feel like you got them down to a T and you find out, yo, this is also what you felt. It's awkward.
Yeah, true.
And then might break a relationship even if you got to talk about it because you're like, why didn't you tell me earlier? Why didn't you check me earlier? Because once again, going back to our point, like, if we would have let it linger and if I would have pushed back on you, like, nigga, you could have told me fucking sooner. Now we're here. Like, now we're at each other's necks and it didn't have to be this way. Why is Brandon about to shoot me?
Oh, my God. Why? Fuck up.
Please don't shoot me, Brandon. I actually like you. You just intimidate the shit out of me because you're, like, literally just... I'm the hood suburban version of you. You're the hood version of me. We're both vegan and tall. We both smashed the same girl. Like, I appreciate you. It's just, and we're both vegan. It's just you intimidate the shit out of me, and I'm jealous of what you and Jihad have.
What the fuck? Well, at least you admitted it. I'm joking. So speaking of accountability and tough conversations, we're gonna talk about like niggas being incels, right? This is a tough conversation to have. Whoa, where you going? Where you going?
I just saw someone in the corner. Some Topher.
Yeah, nice.
Shit. My bad. I was tripping.
Yo, that Topher be hitting
They hitting didn't.
Fucking hell.
So, what about these incels? How much you hate men too?
Nah, I hate ashy ass niggas, bro. Like,
Same.
dick up dummy.
Niggas who be using 301 after 25, kill yourself.
Get your fucking money up.
If you go on the Dollar Tree, I understand that finances are tough. You know, you lost the pandemic money, but like...
Wash your ass.
Bro, invest in some good soap.
Please.
All right.
99 cents bar soap.
Bro, no, because that Irish Spring be giving niggas magma too. So like we can have that conversation for it. Like if a nigga's using Dove and all that shit, I don't trust them. If a nigga using a soap bar, see, I understand you the caucus or Caucasian, but like if you using a soap bar and like you're black, I don't trust you. Like even the black soap bars and all that shit, I
like African soap.
Man,
that shit be hitting different.
If that shit ain't liquid, it ain't hitting. Like I'm not.
What you mean? That's like detergent in a bottle for skin. Like I don't
use Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap.
I mean, I like that. That shit hit different too. Like
that open up your
it
pores.
make my whole like ass feel like a winter wonderland. My dick feel like a fucking candy cane in between like two peppermint patties. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit hit different.
Christmas comes around.
I endorse Dr. Bronner's, bro.
Dr.
Peppermint soap.
Oh my god, the rose one, all the flavors are good. The whatever. But so
But going back to accountability and incels, all right? Y'all can't sit here complaining about females when you don't actually better yourself.
No.
You won't get bitches looking like average ass Joes.
And not washing your
You can't get no bitches with the drip of Steve Jobs. Black turtlenecks, blue jeans, and dad shoes.
That's a fitty.
That's a fitty. Like, you can,
I know,
right?
The New Balance 5s and shit. The school shooter 6s.
You can't pull no bitches rocking your dad's shoes, bro. You got to get better fits, bro. You have to actually learn to communicate and converse with women. Jesus fucking Christ.
I wanna hit a different approach and see if you can, like, what you feeling it.
Go ahead, King.
Because, like I said, attacking a person.
I'm not attacking the person. I'm just attacking their idea. Like,
I know,
the
but
mentality.
they are very sensitive people on average.
You gotta take it slow with them.
You gotta lean in.
Gotta
just
stroke
like the
them.
femcells and all that type of shit who don't be watching the ads and playing Sims 4 all day. First off, Sims 4 is a piece of shit and you smell bad.
But it's like the 2K of woman.
Yeah, no, I know. Oh God, I love that. Keep that. Oh my God. But like, once again, it comes from your family. If you are coming from a single household and the mom is the only provider and she tells you how much she hates men, you're gonna be like, well, bitch, you didn't give me fucking croissants in fucking second grade when I wanted to bring them to school.
Wait a minute, sounds very specific.
And no, it just builds up that hatred from women over time because you're blaming your mom for why your dad's not in the picture. There's a cycle of, once again, abuse, distrust, not having those conversations, and your mom pulling double duty, so she's like a bitter ass bitch too. So it just goes around and it just leads you to be bitter. Like, you start acting out what your mom feels, even as a man. Like, you start acting on her tendency and you just replace woman with man, and then you start resenting women the whole entire time. Like, you start being like, yo, bitches ain't shit. Yo, bitches only want the bag. What type of women are you pursuing? What are you doing to change how you're perceived by the public? Are you taking care of yourself? Some people are born, unfortunately, really fucking ugly.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing they can do about it.
Genuinely, that's true. Like, a lot of people win the genetic lottery. People that can model, like, naturally.
We got laid before.
Yeah.
There's some niggas who are never going to get laid.
That's another thing, too. I wanted to talk about is who's more likely to actually be a virgin at our age, or like in adulthood, young adulthood, whatever.
Oh yeah, it's not
men.
A choice for us.
It's men though. Like, women have, like, again, you talked about your previous partners having more experiences than you did by the time you got to them, and you're just like, damn, I can't really compete. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
You're like, damn, you had that many. And it's not like slut shaming shit. No. It's just like you had not even sex. It's like you had that many experiences where you dated someone and said that you loved them, fell in love, and like all that type of shit.
The same thing over and over again.
I rarely had that with even like my pets, my nigga. Like seriously. And then the idea of what we said last podcast, a lot of men are dying alone. A lot of men are dealing with mental health issues where we're not checking ourselves either, and to ourselves, and not taking care of it. And that bitterness that grows up. And like, we're like, why even try? All women want us for us to bad. Because you get that red pill mentality. You get that manosphere of men just saying women the pickup artists, Oh God, it's a game. Treat women as objects and all that type of shit. And they start believing that because those are the only people, women are talking to them. And the only people are giving them that information are alpha dudes or dudes that someone look like them. But they can pay an actor to hook up with them in a video. And they don't know the actual truth.
Right.
But, there are messages of 100 girls a day. They're being real creepy with women. They're belittling women. Like, you saw that Fresh and Fit, like, cult bullshit. Like,
the Fresh and Fit thing was crazy. That was pretty wild.
But you see how
it's like a big facade. Yeah. That's why I don't conform to any of that shit. I would say I'm a person that has like taken some very knowledgeable life lessons from like the red pill like teachings and shit like that. It really opened me up. Like, or it didn't really have a name, but it's like. Back in the day when like I experienced this shit, I didn't really know what to call it or whatever. But when things happened and I had questions, some of these things did have good answers and maybe realized. But a lot of it is also based in like psychology. Yeah. Again, like women like niggas with priorities. They have jobs. a woman says they want a guy that does this and that third, who's always catering to them and they're always supportive and they listen, they're emotional, yada yada yada. You marry that man, then what? You divorce him 6 months later, 2 years later, whatever down the line in the marriage, because no woman likes a man up her ass.
And I would say that applies to everybody. Like, no matter what.
Yeah, no one wants somebody to be sitting.
You want someone has a more passive energy and someone has a more aggressive energy.
Yeah, there has to be like a masculine and feminine to some extent. Yeah. Absolutely. There has to be somebody leading the relationship.
Or dominant personality.
Yes, absolutely.
Aggressive means abusive, but dominant personality where they're like, we're going here. This is what we're doing.
I mean, aggressive can also be like passive aggressive, like, sure. We're gonna fucking go bungee jumping or something adventurous or something.
Direction is important.
Yes, absolutely.
When you're a man and you lack it and you're just like, I don't know. I dealt with this with the last girl.
Have a bad time.
Yeah, like I lack direction. I'm like, yo, where do you want to go? And I kept asking her, and she's like, I'm not trying to lead you. And she literally said that's why she liked older guys.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I was 23 at the time, and this was like the last, like, you know, the black girl I was telling you about. She was just like, yeah, this is why I date older people, because like you don't have, like, young people don't have direction. They just want to fuck or do other shit, and it's like, or you keep asking why. Give me something to do. Give me purpose. Give me a location. Don't leave it up to me, because what if I don't know what I want? I need you to decide for me. And that sounds like some toxic shit, but some people are naturally more passive. And like I said, I don't think that applies to man or woman. I'm more passive. I want someone to be more dominant than me. Like, I need someone to be like, yo, we're doing this. Because sometimes I don't have an answer. I can turn it on and off, but like sometimes we need direction. And a lot of dudes who become an incel, they don't have direction from anyone besides a person on the internet. They don't have no father figure or male figure or any positive figure in their life that is saying, hey, you know, in 4K, I see you every day. I'm giving you advice. I'm telling you how to be a man. I'm telling you how to be an adult. I'm telling you how to convey yourself to the universe so you can get positive feedback. And then they just go off the deep end. They start resenting life. They start thinking that, yo, it's women's fault that the reason why I can't get pussy. Not me, because I have no one telling me how to take care of me. That's actually good for me.
True. And I feel like to an extent that's what some of the manosphere and red pill communities tried to convey, is like a positive message, or sort of a place where men can congregate and talk about things that they've dealt with in their life.
But don't
and
you
discuss
feel like
that and be better?
I'm going to push back on that, because maybe and I'm not just looking at certain shit. It just, after you send me a few red pill shit, I start getting all that shit on my YouTube, so fuck you for that, bro. And then now if a girl look at my YouTube, she's going to see that shit like, oh my God, you hate women? And I don't want that.
Oh, God.
But like, a lot of the energy, you read the comments, it's like, it's just shitting on women. There's no nuance to the conversation. And then it's like, the women have to get defensive with them who get in the comments. It's just like, because no one's actually speaking to each other. That's another part for the internet, where no one wants to have a proper conversation. But it's like, no one's actually like having like just want to be like, yo, look how right I am. And a lot of the red pill shorts and whatnot, it's like, look how stupid women are.
I mean, it's the same thing with like all the woman on TikTok. It's doing the same shit. Like,
too.
Did you see the chick who invited a guy over for a Tinder date to build an IKEA shelf and kick him out?
Yep.
By the way, he was black, and she's white. So that was on some slave cuckold shit, bro. There was a racial connotation there. I'm sorry, I just can't unsee it.
Gotta be racist.
I was like, yo.
Wait, she invited a Tinder date over for a date to help her build a shelf.
An IKEA shelf, like a dresser.
Just, like,
kicked him out afterwards, and it was all. It's all.
TikTok about it.
Yep, and then
praising herself.
Thousands of likes. Oh yeah, girl,
boss.
Period, girl boss. By the way, oh my God.
It goes both ways.
Oh my God,
I said.
Yeah. It's bad out here.
Like,
it's horrible out here. Like,
they're just shifting the toxicity.
Yeah, everybody's just being toxic to one another, and it's just like
it's a pong of toxicity. Boop.
Yeah,
boop,
it's just
boop, boop. That's why it makes it hard.
No one's winning here.
No one is, honestly.
And people like us who are just like, yo, that's not what we. And I'm not saying we're good guys or whatever. We're just like, we've been through the fucking mud, so to speak. Like, we've been for the ringer, and it's just like, yo, what we get after that, because y'all niggas don't want to communicate, because you just are on both sides of the spectrum, and you guys want an echo chamber between feminists, you want an echo chamber between incels, and there's already in-groups inside of that, like intersectional
there's like
feminists.
Definitely subgroups of like, then there's like TERFs and shit like that, which is just like fucked.
Like fucking like all across the spectrum is like, Can we have a proper conversation? And that means
Yeah.
being uncomfortable. That means like, yo, checking myself. Yo, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And no one wants to do that. It's just the man of spirit wants to be right. Feminism wants to be right. And there's no nuance in between.
So
And Father Day
yeah.
will kill all women. Like,
God.
and how are we supposed to fix things? This goes back to the thing I always preach. And with my future project, I really want to do. Say, hey, I don't fucking know. Can you help me find out? Can you give me your experience? Teach me empathy. Give me reasons to make me feel like, yo, I was tripping on that. Like, make me want to respect you. I know it sounds like it's like a fucked up thing, but like, I'm not gonna naturally respect you off the bat.
No.
You gotta show me a reason why I should.
So I
honor
said
my
respect
time
is
with you.
respect is earned.
And
I'm sorry.
honestly, you were right. Going back to it, like, yeah, respect is more important than love, because now I'm coming around. I'm like, damn, it took only like an
Full
hour.
circle.
Seriously, I'm like thinking about that shit now. Talking about it's like respect is more important than love, because it's like once you leave with respect, it leads into like, yo, I can actually care about this person. I can actually like be romantic with this person, because then I respect them. They're my equal. I don't give a fuck what you identify. You are my equal. I can spend time with you. I can eat dinner with you. I can share a table with you. I can share a bed with you.
And they won't do some
If you're down, you're both down. You
Yeah.
know, if you're up, you're both up. You know.
Facts.
What I mean?
and they won't do some fuck shit to betray your trust or your respect and shit. You know what I mean? Like shit like that.
Cause they can still love you. They can be, I still love you though. I'm still here. No, you're not, bitch.
Daddy, my money.
You're just hurting me. But I want to ask you one more question.
Go ahead, fam.
I'm honest. Like, you say you get good things for the red pill community and you get good ideas from it. But do you feel like you just get that naturally off of being logical? Like you had father figures, you had always had someone in your life giving you guidance or therapy. Like you could have got there by yourself.
So the thing about my childhood was that it was very different. I didn't really have father figures in my life. Oddly enough, ironically enough, I was raised by a woman. All through my life. Sisters, aunties,
Facts.
cousins. Majority of my family is actually female. All throughout my life, woman, right? And I've worked with women. I've been in female-dominated positions. I don't hate women at all. I've learned to honestly understand them and better navigate around them. We're different. That's just all. Like we're different, and especially when we get into a relationship with women, I've learned that, hey, X, Y, and Z can happen. This is what women do. They've told me women have locker room talk just like we do.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
it's some of the grimiest shit. I'm like, what?
Having female friends, you hear the dark.
I'm like, you had an
disgusting stuff.
affair? You're fucking with this guy? Or are you done fucking with this guy? You gonna go fuck with this guy? Oh, this dude's having a depressive episode. Your pussy is drier than a Sahara desert right now because he's in his feelings. He's just like, I remember, I'll never forget my coworker at the time. She was dating this dude. She talked so highly of him. He's 6 foot tall, dark and handsome, black. I met him. He's a cool ass dude. I was like, okay, all right, cool. Week later, he's going through some shit, and then pussy just dry, just no moist,
Sahara.
no moist,
I need some water. Damn.
no wap. Like, dumps dude immediately starts hooking up with another guy that worked at our job.
Fucking Christ.
And y'all stories about the museum shit about like how girls were growing down there is like, yo, that shit is fucking brazy. Like there's no honor. There's no honor.
No honor. But like going back to how I was raised is like, yeah, I didn't really have, my dad wasn't there, and my sister and brother have a different dad, right? And I had to watch my mom struggle with him and their disputes at home and shit like that. And I wasn't really in a positive positive upbringing and shit like that. I wasn't surrounded by like, I didn't have a father figure. The only closest thing I could consider was my older brother. And the reason I say that because he was a go-getter. He grinded his ass off. He got his first car on his own. He learned how to drive by himself because we didn't have a father. His dad wasn't there. He was, you know, don't disrespect the dude, but it's like he was bummy. To this day, he's still the same motherfucker who doesn't take care of his grandkids. He don't call nobody. He don't do none of that shit. So we didn't have that, right? So my brother was the only male like figure in my life. Aside from that, like cousins, right? But I also had to watch my cousins who were, I considered like my brothers because we were that close. We were really close knit. they self-destructed. 2 of them.
I know.
They ended their life. Yes. So I had like exposure to a lot of like the intricacy of like the relationships between men and women and like the dark side of it very early on.
To that point, and tell me if you don't want to, but like you said, you seen people, your family members self-delete and all that type of shit. But did that also show you? You say you didn't have a male father figure, but don't those instances teach you the person you don't want to be and don't want to go for?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's
I don't
like
want to
a
be
father
like
figure that wasn't your father figure. Is this experience
it's like
of a man?
I had to genuinely like build myself into who I was. So to a certain extent, yes, you were right. Like, but it's because I had those experiences that I had to like the lack of all of that.
Yeah.
I had to make myself into my own man.
The lack of
you,
some
like, find your role models elsewhere. 'Cause
Exactly.
You don't have one, like, presented.
Exactly. The lack of something can create what you don't want to be. Like, I would say my biological father, there's always that emptiness of like, why did my dad leave? But then it was like,
Right.
my mom kind of influenced that aspect too. And like, I was bitter over it. I don't the reason why I honestly could say this to you, like, I have low-key incel energy sometimes when it comes to people with family. Like, you have a fucking family. And that makes me so fucking jealous. Like, you have a lifelong friend. You have, even though, like, it seemed like I am more well-adjusted than the average person. It's like, no, I'm very envious of people who have a long family. You get to go to family reunions. Besides my brother and sister and my mom, I do not know my biological family. I cannot have a conversation with any of them. I feel such a disconnect from them. I feel like I don't even know who these people are. So when I hear like even you having family drama that's like your aunties and cousin and grandma,
Right. And nothing's perfect.
nothing's perfect, but it's like even having those experiences, I feel empty.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm just like cut them off. I'm so quick to the cut off button that I even told it to my mom, like, I'll cut you off because I don't.
Right.
My mom ostracized me from my family so much that I'm like, I don't even have a connection to you like that. And I'm envious that I can't care for people the way you can and actually have those reactions. Sometimes I called you bitter because of some way you react to stuff, but you have way more experiences with people. You have way more life than me, on top of you being older than me. But you had certain other experiences that I never had because I was privileged in different ways that I'm starting to experience now. I'm starting to realize, I'm like, I wish I went for this shit when I was younger, and that fucking hurts.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm jealous of you, nigga. But seriously.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like that's fucking real, man, and it really fucking sucks being exposed to that shit early on. But I think like it made me better for it.
Your character.
You know what I mean? Absolutely. It's like some traumatic. It's like God preparing you for like the most traumatic shit ever for character development, right?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just getting everybody's like backstory through the arc. And
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
great. This whole arc is just full of trauma.
It's like
It's
Berserk.
Like, cool, now I understand these characters much
Yeah,
more.
precisely. But like a counter question to your question, do you? And like I know you spend like a lot of your time alone, but like, and you usually don't like fill that time in with something or doing something a little bit more productive besides like gaming and whatnot. Like, do you think like that's one of the main reasons you go to like strip clubs and shit to like seek like courtship or like talking with somebody or like not exactly just looking for like intimate attraction, but just like a conversation with somebody while also like there's entertainment and fun there?
It's kind of like my replacement for, because I worked in customer so long. It's more, I know it sounds like I'm deflecting, but it's part of it. But like I need to train myself how to speak to women. It's like training. If I could talk to a woman who's barely wearing anything and I can have a conversation about life, just whatever, and we could still kick it and like still be somewhat intimate, like it trains me to have conversation with a woman fully clothed and I'm not trying to bust my load and be like, yo, you trying to fuck me? You trying to suck my dick? Yeah, my dick in your mouth now, 4 o'clock in the bedroom. Like I can tone down my horniness to it. I can have a proper conversation. I can speak to a woman like I can speak to my friends. I can speak to you.
So it's anti-incel training.
Yeah, it's training myself to how to be proper, like and respect. But it's also like I do feel empty in my relationships. I don't know how to make a bond like with anyone. I get attached to like people like you guys because it's just like you guys are way more well adjusted than I am. I'm talking to myself at 6 o'clock in the morning. At 4 o'clock in the morning to myself about what I need to do in my life. and try to get myself focused where like you guys have like people you can confide in. If I didn't have you, and even when we talked about like real shit a couple weeks ago, if I don't have people like that, I feel empty. Like most days I wake up, I don't have a connection to my brother and sister like they have with each other. I always feel second or if not third place. I'm jealous of you and Brandon's relationship because I'm always I feel like I'm third to that. Like I always feel like I'm not the center, and that's a selfish thing to say, but it's like no one's made me the center. Either I'm the reason why my mom and stepdad broke up. I was the reason why my mom and dad broke up, and my mom told me that. Like
Was that true, or she just projected that?
Projected.
Oh God, Jesus fucking Christ!
Like I dealt with that. I dealt with seeing my fucking sisters getting kicked out after college. I dealt with my brother having to lie about his sexuality until he was 28 years old, because black families are really homophobic, and like both of my siblings are queer. So it's like that aspect. Like I seen every sad part of a relationship, and like it made me feel like, why do I even want to try? And knowing that my family had fucking secrets, what a secret family, because Jamaicans, but like seriously, like bro. Cheating, domestic abuse, having like raising kids that aren't yours, like that whole vibe is like fucking depressing. And it's like even like I'm at a stage right now where I'm just like, I don't even want to try with anyone. I just need to maintain the relationships I have, but it's hard to maintain those ones because, like, I'm prepared for everyone leaving. I kind of say horrible shit, and part of the reason why I say horrible shit because, like, I want to know the reason why you left, rather than someone just abandoning me like they did before. And it's hard to make that connection long term. I feel empty most days, and it sucks. And I fill that void up with, like... essentially sex work, and I feel like I have more real conversations there because most sex workers are in the gutter. They're not well-adjusted people too. They are miserable. They don't have people, and like it makes me feel comfortable knowing that someone's in a shit rather than someone who has a life, because I barely have one.
It's almost like I was right about sex work.
No, you're right. Like I'm filling in a void. Like there's it's the facts.
But yeah, I feel that. There's sort of this thing about like people that, not everyone, but like there's definitely like a duality of like desperation on both ends, like women that go into sex work and people that purchase it, right? There, women, like people that go into sex work, there's some desperation there, like either attention or they need money. Always some sort of desperation right there. And on the guys, they need to bust a nut real quick. They need like attention from the opposite sex, or like they need some post-nut clarity real quick, or just some fun or whatever like that. And I think they definitely like play off one another there. And like there's like
you're selling the fantasy.
Yeah.
You're selling intimacy. You're selling a girlfriend experience. Or boyfriend experience, whatever.
Right.
But like you're selling that experience of like, hey, this is what a proper relationship should be. Hey, I can suck your dick and hold you after. I can just cuddle with you for an hour and tell you that you're important.
But I think that does that really get anything done, like for like in the long term, like for guys?
No, it doesn't.
No,
it just gives me a placeholder to fill until I feel empty again to go back back at it.
Right. Like you don't get any lesson from it. You don't get any like, oh, I learned how to finesse. You know what I mean? You don't get any game from it or how to like really.
I would push back on that. I would say, like I said, once you are able to talk to someone who's different, who comes from a different perspective, you guys can have a real conversation. Like, not all sex workers just like fuck me and leave, or strip with me and leave. We start talking, like every stripper I talk to, we start talking about real shit because I invite that energy and I can talk back and actually have a conversation while rubbing your ass cheek.
But like, that's how you like approach sex work, right?
Yeah, but that's
like for everyone else, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if the guy's just like, I want you to stay, I don't want you to leave.
Oh no, I disconnect. You know
what I'm saying? Like you pay them to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's not your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just your turn, right?
But will you also say that's the same thing with therapy? And I know this is a weird jump, but it's like you shouldn't fall in love with your therapist. You shouldn't basically think of your therapist as your best friend. They are at the end providing you a service.
Absolutely.
And when you go beyond that, like, oh yeah, you want to hang out? Oh yeah, do you want to
That's
like
weird.
kick it? Do you want to?
I would never do that to my therapist.
I know, but some people make
Right.
that parasocial relationship.
No, right, but like I think you can definitely form a genuine like business like at like partnership with your therapist, definitely. Because I've caught my therapist like just on the street. We dab each other up all the fucking time.
And
like,
I can do the
what I'm
same thing with some of my
Cool,
friends.
right? But it's like I'm saying, but when it comes to, like therapy is totally different from like just getting sex work. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry to make that
No,
connotation.
that was just a weird. No, but
I know, but it's.
I was just like,
It's something that really distress for me.
that did wonders on my mental.
Sometimes.
Busted up with my therapist.
Like, if you want me to be completely honest, like sometimes, like when you're having that conversation after you nut, and like they're actually able to talk about some of their shit,
Right.
you're like, yo, this is fine.
Right, as long as you know what you're getting out of it and what you want out of it, you know what I'm saying. But like I think for like a lot of guys who don't do the work as you're doing, is like it doesn't really help them in the long run.
Oh no, it
right?
doesn't.
Because like everything between a woman and you is like transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like going to the end. Didn't say full circle, huh? But I hope we touched on a lot of shit. I know we were all over the place, but it's a stream of consciousness when we talk about shit like this. It's so broad. We don't have all the answers, Sway. But I feel like having this conversation and like someone having real moments that I kind of saved for this because I feel like it's helpful. And I feel like it was a proper space to do it. There's a lot of things I need to attack with myself. It's more so for me, selfishly. I made this as like, Jihad, this is your coming out party. But honestly...
What the fuck? Oh, yeah, he did say that. That was funny as fuck.
Like, because like I speak over a lot, and I kind of like hearing my sound of my own voice because it's the first time I actually have a platform to say what I want to say. And like even then, it's just like, yo, but it's not just about me. We're a team.
Again, I respect you having the integrity, like, and honesty to
just kidding.
to do that. No, like real shit. Like no, that's again, those conversations are really tough to have.
This is why you're gonna be my brother for life, bro. Like seriously, this is why like I love you. This is why I love my friends. Like people like you, and honestly, just you, like keep me fucking humble. Like you don't let me get too high. You don't let me suck my dick. Like I'm not swallowing my own kids. I'm not Titan out here. Like the Greek god that swallowed his kids because he didn't want to overthrow them.
Kronos.
Yeah, Kronos and shit. But like seriously, like you're making me like a stronger person.
Yeah. Accountability.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with good people. What are you doing to better yourself? What are you doing to take care of yourself and your mentals?
Mm-hmm.
And homies that'll check in on your shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Echo chambers are bad, dude. Agreeing with someone 100% of the time is just when real shit happens, you're just like, well, I don't know how to have an opinion. Have your own opinion. Like, there's so many people, like, once again, talking to Victor, talking to you guys, it's like so good to have people who have their own opinion. It's not just a repost of someone else's point. You can read other information, but as long as you come to your own consensus, you're going to be a way better person off it. Have friends that you don't agree with. Have Republican friends. Have Democrat friends. Have Green Party. Have Libertarian friends. Communicate with people or acquaintances. Just have a different perspective rather than your own, because if no one's checking you...
Have weeaboo friends.
But have people that don't... I was one at one point, so like you kind of already have me.
Furry friends, twink friends.
Have friends that might do some club shit in 3 years, or 1 year, or 3 months, or 2 months,
or with you.
Or with you.
Wait a minute, hold on. Just be in the lampshade.
I bet you get that fucking
like, what the fuck?
Lampshade on.
What the fuck is that? Oh, that's my lamp, bro.
That's my lamp. Just ding and dong. Then they did that with a porn, with a black dick, and she was like trying to turn it on and off. I love porn, like when they do. Anyway, seriously, really appreciate this. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate we're at like over 120 views now. With visual, we're over 100, and we're over like 300 impressions and views. I'm very thankful that anyone who followed, like, I'm grateful to everyone. I appreciate you guys. I'm not gonna say I love you because I don't know y'all niggas. Most of y'all niggas. But I appreciate most of you guys, and I hope to get some of your questions.
Let's get those views and likes up, please.
Yeah.
Share with your friends.
Yeah.
Get this message out there. It'd be very important to us. It'd be doing us a favor, doing us a service. And
pass me the honey bottle real quick.
Talking about accountability and artificial attraction and organic attraction. Just be honest with yourself.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And like, you know, we might get into some shit a little bit later. I might have my vices still, but I'm learning more about myself on what to stop.
Anything is possible.
Anything. Don't drink unless it is Henny. And I got organic shit, like organic mango lemonade, so I'm really being healthy right now. I love you to Henny, see, not you. I love Henny, and I love being self-destructive. Y'all have a great night, day, evening, quinceañera, bar mitzvah, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever.
Circumcision.
Whenever you watch this, not the female one that happened in Africa, that's fucked up. But like, whatever, take care of yourselves, take care of your mentals. I'll catch you later.
He's gonna call me later. I
know
he's gonna fucking call me at 2 a.m.
after I go to the strip club tonight. With that, bring your own beer in New Jersey, bro. But yeah, you guys have a good not a good podcast. You guys have a good night. Bye.
I got something to tell you, baby. Don't get mad this time. If you want my wiener, you give me ease all up in my mind. Baby, please want my wiener. Oh, want my wiener.